What's up, everybody? We got thumbs up in the chat already. Happy Wednesday, hump day. You know how it goes. What's going on with you, Coop?
I just had a whole, excuse me, I just had a whole idea when you paused and took a sip of water right quick that I need to jot down. I had a little epiphany that's going to help us. We'll talk about it real quick after the show.
Okay, cool. I always love those kind of tidbits. Anyway, let me go ahead and get my phone on silent here.
But I'm doing well for the most part. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. The rain just start coming down outside out here in Georgia, whatnot.
Oh,
So
no.
I made it back home just in time.
You're in the city, or you're close to the city relatively.
Right.
See, me, I'm a little further up. It's been hellacious up here for 2 straight days.
So I guess it's just catching up with me. Let me make sure my camera is good.
It's just, you're just catching this fade. I've been catching this fade. This is day 2 of the fade.
Oh, man, people are already in here talking about the Absol. Okay, we're going to get to the Absol track list. And I think the Absol's kind of our cutoff point for 2022 albums. So, we're going to be talking about...
When is the Ab dropping? Is it dropping this Friday?
It's dropping Friday, yep. And so
okay.
I thought today would be a good opportunity for us to go back and revisit some of these albums that, might have got slept on, or talk about, where some albums place in 2022, because I think we have a very interesting year. I know you probably got your notes where we got 4s all over the place, but I think we have what we need at this time to really start fleshing out these ratings. Because, people criticize the fact that, we do ratings the day of, but now this is the time to go ahead and kind of, formulate those ratings and get them where they need to be so that they can be documented properly. You know what I mean?
I really look at us rating an album on a Friday is checking the temperature for a fever.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's it might be at a 101 on Friday, Mm-hmm. And if it's back to a normal temperature at 98.6 by the time we pull up on Monday on Patreon or on Wednesday on the show again here on YouTube, we always say so.
Yeah, you're right. Actually listening to that Metro over the weekend, I like it even more than I did the first time I heard it, gives me a little bit of context. And I don't know if I said this on Friday, but 21 Savage just sounds different when he's with Metro. I don't know if that is Metro guiding him in a certain way or giving him references, but he damn near sounds like a whole different rapper over Metro's beats. I was just listening to some of the stuff they've done together, in succession, and I was like, he's a whole different guy on them beats. And Walk Him Down, it's an Umbrella,
it's very Boldy James and Alchemist
Yeah. I'll say it like this. If 21 Savage rapped like he raps on Metro stuff all the time, he would be, I wouldn't say elite, but he would be definitely ahead of his class in a lot of aspects.
I think that's an insightful observation. I can cede to that some. Yeah.
I was listening to Hot the other day from, actually today, from Young Thug's album. What's the name of that album? So Much Fun? And that everything Lydiana with it hot. Gunna flowed on that joint. I like Gunna's flow. And I think Gunna's album came so early in the year that a lot of us kind of overlooked it. I won't say overlooked it. We reacted to it when it, happened, but it was so early in the year. As the year progressed, it kind of just fell further back in a lot of people's mental. So, saying all that to say, Gunna's album was much better than Lil Baby's album. I know they always get compared to each other, but it's not even close in my opinion.
I think it's unfortunate because it's it does appear that Lil Baby's album came and went in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? I mean, have you heard buzz about it in the city like that, like heavy?
No, not
I mean,
really. And what's so crazy is like it did its quote unquote numbers. So I mean, a lot of the things that's been going on with the numbers over this year specifically, and it's probably always been going on. It's just very fugazi, man. It just is very fugazi.
it's very problematic what's going on with the numbers after we've been educated on the numbers now too.
And and again, like stories have come out from Atlantic Records allegedly specifically, where it's like, yeah, these numbers ain't legit. Again, man, I know I've said this on a whole bunch of shows, but when I saw the baby's numbers be what they were, I was like, nah, this ain't right. Because regardless of what people think of the baby, he is damn near a pop star out here. Like, he's about as close to, I mean, he gets compared to Ludacris in that sense. And I know people will say, oh, Ludacris, rap better than this, that, and third. That's not what we're talking about. But as far as like his commercial viability and his ability to basically, be able to make rap songs and be super commercial, I think that's a viable comparison.
Something about that comparison, like the transition of it, although I understand what you're getting at, it doesn't all the way translate. And here's what I mean, it doesn't all the way translate. And we were younger, so we know this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, when Luda was dropping some shit, every time he dropped something, you heard it outside. Okay?
Did we?
Yeah, I think
I think B.I.B.I.
I mean, in his prime, I mean.
Yeah,
no. Prime to prime.
I say, what's your fantasy got play?
First three albums.
What's your fantasy got play? Southern Hospitality. I think that was more of a national thing, even though I love the record. I don't know if Atlanta was playing it like that in the clubs, maybe on radio, right?
Welcome to Atlanta? What do you mean?
No, I'm talking about Southern Hospitality.
Well, I mean,
Roll Out. Yeah.
Move.
Yeah. Roll Out, again, another song I like that I don't know if it got played like that.
But I mean down here.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean necessarily by the radio. I mean like when you was out and about. You ain't hear other dudes playing those records?
Well, see, this is the thing. When out and about in Atlanta, when Ludacris came out, Big Oomp was running the city. Like Baby D and Pastor Troy were ruling the club, and you can't mix Ludacris records in with those records.
But that's what I'm saying. I didn't mean. That's why I said I didn't mean like by the radio or per se the clubs. I mean like other people. Okay. Here's what I'm saying.
I got you.
When I was I was on the East Side earlier this year selling life insurance when Gunna album dropped. Okay. Every day for 2 weeks straight that I was on the East Side, I heard cats bumping something from Gunna's album in the street somewhere. Could be driving by, could be at a light, could be at a gas station, it could be at an eatery, could be at the grocery store. Cats was outside playing Gunna's music.
Back for the first time was like
that. Specifically here 24K Jacket. Specifically.
Back for the first time was like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so, are we playing Lil Baby's album like that? Is what I'm saying.
No. I said Da Baby. I compared him to Ludacris.
You said Da Baby.
Yeah, Da Baby.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Very big miscommunication. I'm sorry for wasting the people's
time. No, it's all good. Leroy Green says, Coop, Hell Have No Fury was Kingdom Come. What say you?
Was what?
Is he saying that the beats for Hell Have No Fury was supposed to be on Kingdom Come?
Oh, well, I mean, that makes for a much greater album for Jay by far. I don't know.
Well, that wasn't the approach that Jay was going for on that album.
Well, I think that's why he didn't take the beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, styles make fights.
Well, I think
it went who it was supposed to go to.
I think the story is Pusha T heard him and told Pharrell, like, yo, you're not giving those to Jay. Like, that's going to the home team.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Mike H with the super chat says, how has KD3 been higher on her loss, higher than her loss and iTunes for 3 straight weeks, but her loss did 440 and KD did 29,000. Maybe I don't know how this stuff works, That is interesting. I don't know. I really don't know.
I think that's some of that problematic behavior with these numbers that you've been referencing even long before King's Disease 3 dropped. I mean, we've been having you've been citing these numbers and not believing them pretty much since we've been doing the show. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the baby in the game situation was the one that made me think like, nah, these ain't legit. Because it seems to be everybody who who is publicly not the
defiant.
darling out here, yeah, is the one that's suffering numbers wise. And let's just be real, fans don't care about that shit. Like the people who used to have their tapes and CDs crushed in the streets were the ones doing units. So the people who are getting quote unquote canceled by the left wing media and all of that, they're not gonna suffer from the fans. Fans don't care about that. Most of the fans didn't even trip on what the baby was saying on stage, because if anybody been to a rap concert anywhere, they know DJs, performers do call and response stuff like that all the time. And I thought it was really wild in the baby situation in that call and response where he said something about the ladies too, and no one took offense to that. Problematic. Speaking of offense, man, you want to talk about this Deion Sanders thing real quick? Because everybody seems to have an opinion on the fact that Deion Sanders left Jacksonville State University. What did you think about that? And we're going to take a little sports segue real quick before we get back to the hip hop.
I find Bomani Jones' take to be a little disconcerting, and here's why.
Well, review to people what Bomani Jones' take is for the people who may not have seen it.
I mean, Bomani Jones' take is essentially that he's pretty much saying Deion sold us the same set of wolf tickets that the white man sells us. Okay? And I don't think that's a fair contextualization, because here's what you don't have. You don't have white men going to depraved institutions and reviving them, for one. Okay?
Jackson State. I'm sorry. I said Jacksonville. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have coaches donating portions of their salaries to make sure that facilities and other things are upkept and maintenance properly to actually compete and get viable prospects to want to come and play at these HBCUs. You don't have white men with large profiles like him going to lesser schools and doing that even on whatever level that you would find it to be comparable or compatible. And so, and I said this, I literally said this on, and I don't bring this up too often, I literally said this on an Instagram post. It's like, when God moves, he can move in 30 seconds and change everything. He can move in 30 years and change everything. He can move things in 3 years at a HBCU. What I think Bomani's actually missing is that, we might actually have some blueprint plans, actually, for how to help revive these institutions through the sports and academic programs. Because when he's saying, is there another Deion Sanders? No. Very few people are going to be the greatest of all time at their position and be good coaches, for one. Okay? So he is a one of one in that regard. But you're telling me there are other high-profile black men who are Hall of Fame athletes that wouldn't want some of the same opportunity and couldn't bring maybe not a Deion level of cachet. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But a level of cachet and viability to the program. And I can't stress this enough. You can't just have the name and be a Hall of Famer. You need to be a good coach. Deion's teams were winning. They just got done going undefeated.
Mm-hmm. 2 bowls in 3 years. And, the first year is just, changing the culture. You know what I mean?
And when people Nick Saban, stay at Michigan State for 3 or 4 years and then get a job at LSU, people like Bomani Jones, who are black media, never say a word when those people leave. So why is he making it a point to bring it up and bring the God thing up with Deion. You get what I'm saying? Like these white dudes jump around like this every 3-4 years all the time. Mike, he never says anything, and they use the same whole God, guns, and country thing, and he doesn't say anything.
Well, I think it's noteworthy that when Deion actually made his decision to come to Jackson State in the first place, Bomani Jones was one of the detractors that went out there and said that Deion was going to fail. And so, and I remember Deion responding to that too. They had him on First Take and they showed a clip of Bomani on, forgot which show it was, where he said that,
I didn't know
Deion
that.
was going to fail. And so once he showed you in 3 years that, he uplifted the program, they won 2 bowl games, and he went on to, a situation that was just fiscally better for himself and his son. You still have the vitriol to go on CNN and still talk down. At no point did you say, you know what? I initially said that he was going to fail. I was wrong. He got 2 bowls out of this situation in 3 years. Raised the level and the profile of this university and this program and possibly other programs surrounding it, and then go forth with whatever your opinion is. But acknowledge the fact that you went out there and said that he was going to fail. And no stretch of the imagination in sports is winning 2 bowl games and getting 2 championships
in 3 years.
3 years. Failure. Define what failure is, Bomani, because right now you sound like a real hater. And I love that the fact that these situations come about, because it really shows you who's who in the media and shows you what people's individual character is and the people that they have a bug in their ass for. Like, what's your problem with Deion, man? Isn't he from Atlanta? Isn't Bomani from Atlanta? I spent time out here.
I thought it was North Carolina. I thought he's in my home
I think
state.
he went to school out here.
I think he's in North Carolina right now.
Yeah. Let me get to the super chats real quick. LP with the super chat says, it's because KD3 is a full body of work and is selling more than her loss, where the difference comes is the amount of streams for individual songs have. Okay, I can see that. Let's see. And Mad Max with the super chat says, man, I'm with Deion. JSU allegedly was skimming money from the football program. Everybody want to talk about HBCU this, HBCU that. That black people love holding everyone accountable except themselves. Shout out to Andrew Green with the super chat. Says the $20 super chat. Good looking. Says, one thing I don't hear people talking about is about benefiting Nas' output is in this era, him only having to do 2 verses instead of 3. It saves time, effort, and crafting concepts for songs, like load management for top tier MCs of his caliber. I could see that. That's an interesting take. And Mad Max also says, they had a deal that if he sold out games, they would give him a bonus. But it comes out that they were stealing his money. We all up in arms when others take from us, but never call out our own when they're taking from us. You know what? This is what I will say, and I think that I could go on a long diatribe about this. I went to HBCU. At least my freshman year. Shout out to Alabama State. Love the folks over there, right? But let's just be real. A lot of the management and people who are high up in many of these HBCUs are inadequate. And let's say I missed the LP super chat. Where's the LP super chat that I missed before I get into this? I thought I just said
because I got a few things I wanted to say about the Bomani thing.
Okay, no, you go ahead. Let me. I did miss one. LP says, no, I said that. It's because KD. Yeah, I said that about the body of work. Go ahead, Coop.
So, I guess my thing with, and I didn't know all of that, Mike. That's very. I didn't know that he said that Deion was going to fail, but what you'll find is that this is what I mean. And I've been, watching Bomani Jones on ESPN on a variety of shows, he seems very opinionated about this Deion thing. It's like, but where are you when these white coaches are selling these dreams and coming into black living rooms and houses and homes and selling the same dreams and not donating portions of their salary?
Well, he has a
Not
problem with Deion clearly, and
right.
and he's not holding everybody on the same level. And I think it's very sad for somebody who is a legend of the stature that Deion Sanders is in sports, period, to have somebody like a Bomani Jones be super critical of that. I mean, it's like what?
Well, it's not that. Well, this is what I'm saying, and so something about it doesn't sit well. And here's what I mean. He's raised the profile of not just Jackson State, but he's highlighted actually some of the inadequacies and injustices that black institutions, black collegiate institutions, historically black colleges need to rectify. Like, he has highlighted these things. He hasn't been just sitting there while he's been winning football games. He's actually been highlighting the things that need to be done. He's been contributing to them financially. He's been helping make young men into grown men and graduate while he's doing this, on top of winning football games. Like, he just got done doing so many things in these 3 years' times. Show me a white man that's went to a collegiate institution in the last 50 years and turned things around systemically, institutionally, and on a winning and on a financial level the way Deion Sanders just did. And to have a black man come out on one of the biggest platforms, CNN, a worldwide platform, not just here in the States, but a worldwide platform, and do that, it's like, he's part of the problem, Mike.
Then you got people.
He's the reason that we don't have here black men like him.
Well, honestly,
we are not the problem.
Honestly,
the problem.
In my opinion, many of the Boule, and I would consider Bomani a Boule Negro.
Boo.
Many of the Boule are the problem.
That's what they are. Boo boo.
The Boule are the problem. You feel like that you're above the rest of black society. Yeah. You feel like since you got on this platform, your word is bond. And then the fact that people are out here sharing this shit that he's saying, like he's speaking facts or something. Bottom line is, bro, what you need to do, if we want to really talk about accountability here, the people that need to be held accountable is the people that are high up in these HBCUs who aren't able to pay a person like Deion to continue the course that he's going on. He gave you everything you needed to be able to pay him moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So what people want? You want him to go out here and continue to have to contribute his salary to an institution and turn down $5 million a year? What?
You want him to turn into Eddie Robinson and people have to remind white culture of who he is every year? You get what I'm saying?
Well, see, I don't even like the whole Eddie Robinson thing, because what people got to understand, that's just like the 70s and shit, man. HBCUs were different then. It's different. This is a whole different era. You're not it was easier to thrive in HBCUs in the 60s and 70s because that's the only schools the blacks could go to. Man, you know what I mean?
Here.
So it's different then. It's a different ball game.
These white coaches, they play House of Pain, Mike. Jump around.
Yeah.
Okay? They jump around. What's his name? Hugh Freeze, who got in trouble in the SEC? I think 5, 7, 8 years ago, Mike, he's right back in the SEC as a coach. Right now, he just got back in.
Well, this is what I want to speak on, though. I think an opportunity was missed by Jackson. So let's just say Jackson knew they were getting Deion Sanders, who is a mega star, who didn't have to be doing this in the first place, right? Let's just say they get him, and then everybody that's on board, everybody who are the alumni, the boards, and everybody who's involved in the athletic program, they hit the ground running. They're like, yo, we got Deion here. We need to get our merch together. We need to get our Jackson swag together. We need to, make sure that we're able to get sponsorships. Boom, boom, boom. So when the time comes and he's successful with this, then we'll be able to pay him. Let's just say hypothetically, they did everything they were supposed to do financially and took advantage of everything that Deion brought to this program, the winning on top of that, right? Because bowl games are money as well. Let's just say they were able to pay him. Then you're going to see more top tier black athletes go back and, be coaching these HBCU universities. And they're going to be able to have that recruiting power as well. Then you get more competitive. If this were the opportunity to pay somebody for their work, and if they could have done that, this would have been a trickle down effect. What a huge opportunity missed.
But this is what I mean. It's it's a huge opportunity missed, but it can still even out, because here's the thing. When somebody like Deion, with his profile and his cachet, steps down and steps into the doldrums of a HBCU college football program and literally resurrects it, okay? When somebody of his caliber does that, what you have when a man like that leaves your program is examples of what went right and what went wrong to go off of business-wise, financially, institutionally, academically, as far as recruiting. Like, he just gave you a whole blueprint. And so when people are like, well, God said he sent them there, it's like, okay, like, God sends people sometimes literally to do one thing. Like Mike.
Did God send him to ESPN, or was the check right?
Like in the Bible, God asked a prostitute to do one thing for one night, and she got put in the bloodline of Jesus. She was a prostitute her whole life. You get what I'm saying? And so when people are talking this whole God thing and the whole 3 years thing, it's like, oh, well, go to church or maybe read, because it's like, that's not how it works at all. Like, at all. That's not how it works.
Again, I think anybody...
Like, God didn't sign a contract with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it says, you want to know it. Okay, so I'm sending you to Jackson State for 5 years.
Yeah. And no one's asking, like...
48 hours and 66 minutes.
And no one's asking, like, yo, what did Jackson State offer? Did they make a counter? So he's just supposed to sit there and take $150,000 a year and selling out these games, winning bowl game after bowl game, and turn down a $5 million opportunity. And where his son's able to play quarterback for this institution. Come on, man.
We do understand that this is not about the money. We know who we're talking about, right?
I mean,
like the fact that even money's being bought into this, and that's another thing that I didn't like that Bomani brought him up. Because here's the thing, and I want you to understand how he did this twofold. Hold on, Mike. Let me say this. He said they're probably paying him 15 times what the HBCU was paying him. This is why the AD is coming out saying, we don't even have the money to pay Deion right now. And understand, why is a money conversation being had that's degrading the black institution more? Again, when you're immediately coming out in 15-1, saying 15-1, well, show me the numbers, Bomani, that you've looked up that says that Colorado is about to pay 15-1 more than Jackson State. Like, show me where you have those viable numbers to make that comment on national live syndicated TV on CNN to say that. And that puts down the black institution. And then the AD of Colorado is literally saying, well, we don't even have the money to pay this man yet. And why are we talking about money when we talking about Deion Sanders, who's been living in Texas tax-free post-retirement after making millions of dollars in endorsements, in baseball, with the best union in America in baseball? He was an Atlanta Brave and a Cincinnati Red and a New York Yankee, if memory serves. And football, like, stop playing. This is not a money conversation. You understand?
It's not, again.
Why is his bag even being bought up?
At the end of the day, Bomani got paid to go on CNN, or at least use that CNN opportunity for some more money. So anytime anybody is at work, they should be compensated for what they're doing. I don't like them sitting there pulling that out there, because at the end of the day, this man's giving his time, effort. He has a family. You know what I'm saying? So if he's going out, he's supposed to go out there and work for free because he's been successful in another career. Jerry Jones and them go out there and make money every single day. That's what they're supposed to do. They're doing work. So I don't even think the money part of it's a conversation. It's like, why didn't Jackson have the money to pay him? And why don't HBCUs have the money? He did everything you could do to attract the money. He got you top recruits. He got one of the top recruits, the receiver that was supposed to go to Alabama. Got that. Got you the sponsors. got you the bowl games, got you television. Now, what else do you need to get money to be able to pay somebody who can bring in revenue? And if you
But what
can't
I'm
do
saying,
anything like that, then why are you even here?
Do you understand that this man could live in Atlanta, Dallas, and San Francisco for the rest of his days for free if he wanted to, pretty much?
Yeah,
Like
it's
off,
not about
off reputation. Right, it's not. So
because
not
at the
a
end of the day, Coop, somebody making money. Let's just say if this nigga went out there and coached
we don't do
motherfuckers
this
for
when
free,
Nick Saban's getting
somebody's
money,
making money.
When Urban Meyer and Nick Saban are getting money, when Pete Carroll's getting money, when Bill Belichick's getting money, when these dudes is getting money, we're not sitting up there having these conversations.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, like I said, they're giving results which are bringing in the money. But we expect, since Deion is Deion and has had a successful career, for him to go out there working for free and make everybody else some money. No, that's not how it works. Everything that he brought to the table brought in money, and he should be compensated for that. And no one should sit here and shame him for the fact that he took an opportunity where somebody was willing to compensate him for the work he's done. LP with the super chat says, you're right, Mike. Jackson should have capitalized. They have the right colors and to sell too. FAMU just had JS go for 300. They should have built up on their brand. Yeah, this was a branding opportunity. This is an opportunity for a lot of things. CJ Kidd with the super chat, $20 super chat. Good looking. He says, Coop, you have so much knowledge in many vast areas in life, religion, business, and entertainment. How do you retain all of this information, and how long did it take you to study all of it and keep all of your keep it all in your mind forever?
I read it over and over again.
Read it and
my
retain
whole life.
it.
I'm always growing. I'm always reading.
But yeah,
I'm always reading.
I guess my question to you and to whoever is like, why doesn't Jackson have the money to pay him?
I mean, there could be a myriad of reasons why. Some of them are probably
why?
You know, I mean, they probably have misappropriated some of the funds, quite frankly.
You know, let's just keep it real, man. If that's always going to be the story with HBCUs, man, like at what point do people buck back on this, man? Because the tuition's not going down for these students. People paying like 20 G's to go to these schools,
I mean. Okay,
man.
So structurally, hold on. Was he put? Let's just talk about the business of college football. Is a black HBCU located in Mississippi? Like, what level would you rank the competition level capabilities of the facilities, the infrastructure, the people who are responsible for maintaining the organization and the infrastructure, the recruiting? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, the city doesn't have clean water.
One man cannot come in and fix a job that's built for 50 people in a very...
Of course. And then they expect him to fix the whole HBCU system. He's in a city that doesn't even have clean water currently. So what do you want him to do?
Right. Like, what is he supposed to do that he didn't do? He's sitting here
donating his salary to clean water, shit that the government should be doing, shit that the water department should be doing. And y'all expect him to do that.
And quite frankly, he's helping making, boys into men where fathers are not present in the home as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's doing so many things. It's like, how much do you want this man to do?
But Monty a sucker for this. I'm sorry, man. I'm just calling it. I mean, really, understanding the whole, because he understands more about sports than we do. And he understands the background. He probably understands the players involved. Not talking about the players on the field, but the people you don't see. And you know what Jackson's going through as a city and what that Mississippi area is going through as a city. And the fact that this man was able to uplift this program that you said he was going to fail at, and then led them to 2 bowls, and the administration didn't do what they were supposed to do, and they lost this great talent in Deion, and now you want to sit here and patronize him on a platform and never invite you on?
I want you to understand this. This is what God asked great men to do. He asked us to lead. Did Deion just not leave? You get what I'm saying? He asked that you donate your time. He asked that you donate your money. He asked that you give to the poor.
He did all those things.
Like, this is what I'm saying. It's like it's about as biblical as it gets, Mike, in terms of the order of how a man is supposed to behave in a situation that is less than stellar. It is literally like what you get called to do as a man in order with God. It's like, no. Take this piece of dirt. We're going to make some clay, and then we're going to make, and we're going to mold, and we're going to shape, like, from scratch.
He was bringing Snoop Dogg to the...
Like, we don't... We don't have no situation like the former Boston Celtics coach going on with Deion. You feel what I'm saying? Like, no. We ain't getting none of that going on. Like, he's literally turning these boys into men.
No, the only way that they're bashing Deion is the fact that he took more money somewhere else, What I was going to say was, man, he was bringing stars to these guys' locker rooms. I mean, you're seeing Snoop Dogg out there. I think he brought a billionaire to come out there and talk to the kids and things of that nature. My other question would be, what are other HBCUs doing during that 3-year period to say, you know what, let me reach out to this athlete or this athlete to possibly be a part of the program as well, since we're seeing how successful this is? Because Deion was bringing on other black athletes to be a part of his coaching staff as well.
I want you to think about this. In the very same state, there is a whole welfare issue going on with Brett Favre. Now, why the hell CNN ain't called Bomani Jones to talk about Brett Favre skimming off the top, in the middle, and at the bottom?
Well, that's not what Bomani is put in place for.
But is he not a sports commentator? Is Brett Favre not a former quarterback? Is this not the same?
I understand what you're saying, but people like Bomani Jones get on ESPN and keep their jobs by talking about people like Deion and not people like Brett Favre. That's just the bottom line. Mad Max with the super chat says, they have the money. They also stole the money from him. I mean, so listen, at the end of the day, man, somebody has to ask, like, where does this HBCU mystery money go, where it seems like they can't pay for anything and they always have to ask, the president for money, seems like, and the president of the United States, that is. Not having alumni endowment is one thing, but again, that's kind of a reflection on your graduation rate and the success rate of people who graduate from your institution, right? So that's one thing. But we see here in this Deion situation, this man came here, 3 years, 2 bowl games, brought all kind of attention to the program, brought television deals that weren't there before, brought all kind of notoriety, and we still have no money? I mean, at this point, it's like, okay, well, what do y'all expect to be done? We were just talking about the whole Chris Brown thing and getting canceled from, the AMAs and all that stuff for the Michael Jackson thing. Like, how dope would it be if, Jackson State had Chris Brown come out there and perform at their halftime and things like that? Like, there's so many things that could be done at these institutions, but it comes across that either the people who are in charge aren't trying or they aren't adequate enough to get it done. I mean, it's one of the two. But see, when you say stuff like that, people think you're being mean, but you gotta hold people accountable. I'm sorry. This was a really, really bad misstep, letting Deion go on to other pastures.
So I think it was a misstep, but this is what I'm saying is that, do you see how much time we're spending talking about Deion? Because Bomani went up on CNN as a black man and said what he said. Meanwhile, in Texas, photos of Jerry Jones at a segregationist rally. Yeah. Meanwhile, in Mississippi, Brett Favre stealing from the poorest state in the nation. CNN's not calling any black sports anchors or commentators to comment on that now.
Or the fact that they don't have clean water. All that other stuff is whatever, but the fact that you have an administration that's given tons and tons of bread to a whole nother country, and you have a state right here in the States that just won a bowl game that doesn't have clean water. I mean, it's similar to, the vice president's alumni out there at Howard University having to sleep outside because the dorms didn't have adequate living conditions at Howard University, another HBCU. Like, explain these things.
It's funny how the money never makes it to these institutions that, never mind. That's a whole nother institutional conversation for another day, I think.
It's funny that the VP said nothing about this while this was going on. I take that personal. If my child were going to that university and you talk about selling somebody a dream. You sell people on this whole HBCU culture and dream experience, and you get to school and you don't even have a fucking dorm to sleep in. That's selling somebody a dream that they paid for, by the way. LP with the super chat says they used the money to get Favre's daughter a new court. Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat said HBCUs need to focus on building the investing in STEM studies because those are the alumni who can donate. Ivy League schools operate like a business.
I agree with that. Yes, this is what I mean about. So, how about this?
How do they start doing that, though?
Well, here's what really happens.
You need adequate people in charge that are going to be able, you know what I'm saying, initiate
Well, this is what I mean about having blueprint plans. You got to start seeking out bigger fish than what you're seeking and stop settling if you're these black institutions. We need, how about this? You need somebody.
I want to piggyback on that. They have settled with the fact that they're bottom of the barrel. They're cool with that.
Well, they're not that. But what I'm saying is that, well, blacks go to Harvard and Yale and Princeton and Cornell and Cal Berkeley and Columbia. And why are you not sourcing these people out to come back and help your institution as professors, business people, accounts? You get what I'm saying?
Because Coop, they have nothing to offer them. We see this in the Deion situation. This nigga's a legend. Not only did he not have to come here, he came here and gave you everything you needed to build on to be able to keep him. And they couldn't compensate him. So there's no way you could compensate somebody like that.
So you got blessed and you weren't ready, but now get ready.
They're not ready. I'm sorry. Because at this point, like you said, Colorado even said that they didn't have the money. They could have actually made some sort of statement like, listen, we want to counter whatever. We'll get the money. They didn't even do that. Jay Short with the super chat says, I don't want to hear about SWAC not having network deals and all these streaming sites out here. If you're a college and you can figure out how to broadcast your games, HBCU leadership is incompetent. Yeah, there's so many streaming platforms out here that would show these games. I think
this is what I'm saying.
The
HBCU leadership might be incompetent. How about this? I'm going to tell you how I'm going to give you maybe something I can try to compare it to. Do you remember when I told you that as far as our black TV networks and award shows and how I feel like we need to take whoever is in position of power and give them severance packages and tell them to go the fuck home and not come back and put some new, fresh, young blood in there that's going to get some new age and newfound results and ground and traction and get people excited and actually put some money on the books and numbers on the boards and get things cracking the way that they should be here in 2022. Like the same way I feel that way about the black media and network is the same way I feel about the HBCU. And so when you're saying they're incompetent, no, I'm agreeing. I'm just telling you that, I'm not big on firing people. So I believe in severance packages, but people got to go because this is part of what is wrong with us. I'm going to tell you something. I'll tell you everything that's wrong with the mentality of the black community in one synopsis. I can never forget when I was riding with my first realtor when me and my ex-wife were looking for our first home that we were going to purchase because we were renting one at the time. I'm riding with the realtor and she tells me, I'll never forget, it's Shirley. Shirley's husband was an engineer at Dobbins. She didn't even have to be selling real estate, okay? She's like, Armand, she said, the average person buys a new home every 7 to 10 years. until they usually get to their third or fourth house when they're in their 40s and their 50s. And then they build off of what they call their forever home. I look back at Shirley and I said, Shirley, black people don't do that shit. I said, we're lucky if we buy a house and have it in our name before 40, and then we'll spend 30, 40 years paying it off. And she looked back at me. She was like, I know. She said, it's one of the saddest things that I've seen. It's the mentality of it. You get what I'm saying? The people that were really playing the game is what she was saying. And she was saying this to me as a younger black man. She was like, no, stop getting locked into that forever frame of mind. Like you hire somebody at 25 and you let them hold the position till they're 65 and you wonder what happens institutionally to your program. You get what I'm saying? Like you got to look at it like a market and like a businessman. And it's like the reality of the matter. A house is not just a place where you live. It's an investment. HBCU is not just a college. It's a business.
It's an investment, but you have to invest in the students.
And you have to deal with it as such. So every 7 to 10 years, you need to be flipping and pushing this weight.
But this is the thing. The investment is the students. And if you don't invest in the student experience and you got kids out here who can't even live in their dorms because they got molds in the shower in the dorm room and they have to sleep outside in tents, that's not adding to the collegiate experience. Not to mention, you got the vice president of the United States who is alumni at that school and not doing anything about that. Now, I agree with you going, actually, clean a house, but it's kind of a hard sell when, like I said, you have the vice president of the United States who went to your school and you got students out here sleeping in tents because the dorm rooms aren't livable, and she's not saying anything about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. It's like, damn, if this were happening over at Stanford, this would be worldwide news, right?
Exactly.
And that's not just on the administration. That's on everybody, the alumni, the media, everything. There was only one media outlet covering that shit. And I remember they had the dude this over education in the United States. I forgot his title. They had him on the Breakfast Club. And I think Charlamagne asked him about that Howard situation. And he acted like he didn't know anything about it. It's like, I have to check into that. You're lying. You know. If I know, you know. This is your fucking job. Like, and the vice president went to this school. So they don't care all around. It's not even just the people who are in place. And like you said, I agree. You need some young energy in there, but you also need to build that young energy with the young people that are going through those doors. Because nobody wants to be in radio anymore because nobody grew up listening to radio. That's why they can't get no young people. And nobody's going to want to head up these institutions because their experience, their student experience was trash.
Well, this is exactly what I mean. So what you really have, and here's one of the real evils of the black community that we as blacks don't talk about, how we separate in class from each other. So you're talking about that Howard student that's literally sleeping outside because the dorms aren't livable. Well, show me the dean of students and show me how old the dean of students is and how the dean of students, who is also a black individual, and show me how they're living and what circles they're running in. And I'll tell you, it's the same problem in the white community that we see. You got people like Donald Trump selling the impoverished the dream, and people react in kind because they feel like something's keeping them from having that lifestyle when it's really their own that's keeping them back. We can be our own worst enemy sometimes, but this is what I mean when I say this. People trying to act like, Mike, we've been free for a long time. Mike, we've only been free legally since 1965. It's 2022. These white people have been free since Plymouth Rock. We're not playing the same game. We literally over 300 years behind on some things. And we need to behave as a community as such. That's the problem. We behave, we let them feed us this bullshit like there's some balance that doesn't exist. We are literally 350 years behind. Act like it.
But again, where does the money go? Because Coop, they treating these schools like they're the projects. People are paying like 30, 40, sometimes $50,000 to go there. So where does this money go?
Not my daughter.
Where does this money go? No, I mean, I'm just saying, if we want to preserve HBCUs and they're that important culturally, this, that, and the third, I get that. But where's the money going? And why, when somebody like a Deion can come and bring all kind of fanfare and bring all kind of money to your school, you can't pay him? Oh, and when he leaves, it's a problem. Oh, he was in it for the money.
No,
money was being made.
I just told you where the money was, Mike. I just said, where's the dean of students, and how is the dean of students living, as opposed to how I'm showing you, like go show me the staff and go show me the staff's houses and cars and the people connected and the people who donate to the university. Go show me those people, and I'll show you where the money went. Go show me those people.
Well, see, Bomani should have been.
Pull up the addresses to their homes. Go look at the property value of their homes and their vehicles and their assets, and I'll show you where the money is.
Well, why wasn't Bomani on CNN talking about them instead of the person who actually brought the money?
Well, that would be very problematic for him keeping his motherfucking job.
LP with the super chat says, Mike, the same thing that's happening to HBCUs is exactly what would have been happening with the Negro League, to go back to an earlier episode. I disagree with that 100%, because the Negro League was actually black owned and black operated, whereas HBCUs are not black owned. They're not. That's why they're always asking for money. That's why they're always having to get money. When you're talking about the Negro League, this was a self-contained league that was making its own money. So I don't see the correlation, other than the fact that, it got Negro in the name.
You don't want no smoke with Mike on the Negro League talk. I've been trying to tell y'all don't want to do it.
Jay Short with the super chat says, for those on the chat, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. The disciplines that keep the world running and make the most money. I agree with that, Jay Short, but see, the thing is, you have to be able to invest in those kind of students. And I don't think look, if they're not willing to continuously invest in Deion Sanders, who was a legend, who was able to bring money straight to their front door, they're not willing to invest in the proposed student in math and science. It's an investment conversation. They didn't even have to invest in Deion. Deion said, look, I'll do y'all solid. I'll work for the minimum over here, and I'll bring y'all some money. They couldn't even do that.
Mike, with all due respect, before it's that conversation, I truly do believe it's an assets and liabilities conversation first. What are your assets? What are your liabilities? Move accordingly as a business. Period. Deion Sanders, number one asset. People running the institution, number one liability. Who do you cut? Who do you keep? You feel me? Deion, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. See, this is what I mean. The president should have came down. It should have been like, hey, Deion, the boosters want to keep you here. And to keep you here, liability, such and such over here that makes $150,000. Liability over here that makes $300,000. Liability over here that had we're going to cut those three liabilities, supplement your bonus structure to keep you here at least another year while we financially prepare ourselves to find a way to develop everything that you bought to us.
Exactly.
That's what needed to happen. But maybe that's what I'm saying. But maybe, and I hate to say this, maybe you need a black man with a Harvard business school degree to come down to your HBC institution and tell you that for you to take it seriously. The same way you needed Deion to come down. That's what I'm saying.
They're not
I know it's bad to say, Mike, and you feel like, no, we shouldn't have to do all that. I ain't talking about what we shouldn't have to do. I'm talking about what needs to get done.
No, this is where I'm at with it. Somebody is keeping these people in place for a reason. Somebody is okay with the fact that money is just going to nowhere, and they're fine with that. I don't understand.
It's not going nowhere, Mike.
It's going somewhere.
We know where it's going.
Allegedly.
Why are we playing? We know where it's going.
But somebody up top, because like I said, these schools aren't black owned. They're not. You know what I'm saying? So the money's going somewhere, and whoever's really in charge is okay with that. And they're okay with the fact that they're going to let somebody like Deion walk, who could have brought the institution even more money in this over a 10-year tenure than he did in that 3-year tenure. Because they're not going to get this again. Like you said, there's no more Deion
I
Sanders is
mean, you
out
have to
there.
understand.
It's
That's what I'm
not.
saying. But when you're talking about people that's like living on an estate that probably costs more than one of those dilapidated buildings on Howard's campus, you feel what I'm saying? You ask where the money is, oh, we know where the money is.
Yeah, it
Why are
is
we
what it
playing this
is.
type of games?
But see, again, when I
We
say
gotta
these
stop
type of
playing games and
things,
start being honest with each other.
when
People are out here stealing money from their own, and it's rich elite black people doing it too.
it's the
Not just
boule.
rich,
It's the
right? It's
boule.
not just rich white elitists that steal from their own. No, rich blacks have learned from the rich whites here and steal from their own too. It's habitual. They're habitual line
Well,
steppers.
see, the rich black that you're talking about works for the richer white. So that's what that is. But what I'm going
That
to
appears
say,
to be infinite here in America.
but see, what I'm going to say is the fact that whenever I talk about these things with HBCUs, people just say, oh man, you're hating on HBCUs again, this and that. This Deion situation is no way around it. It's no way around it. And the fact that Bomani Jones actually went up there on CNN to go out there and criticize Deion in this situation when he already had said that Deion was going to fail before he even started. It's like, are y'all all working together, Bomani? Come on, bro.
I don't know, Mike. We ain't had to slide. We haven't had to slide on a sports journalist until now.
And I only say that because I like Bomani's
We had to slide on
takes
this
and
fool. I
stuff,
don't. Not after this.
No, not
That's
after
what I'm
this, but
saying.
I'm saying
This is where I
before
start
this.
drawing the line. It's
Yeah.
like, no, hold on, no. We got a list at the barbecue. It's like, circle his name.
Right.
You're gonna have to check his identification and his paperwork next time.
Well, it's
he
clear
pulls up
who
to
he
the
works
barbecue.
for. And anybody, I'm sorry, man, you can have your opinion, this, that, and the third, but
Been hanging out with
anybody
Stacey
who is,
Dash or something? Like, what's going on?
but
What?
anybody who's taking on this subject with a certain angle, you look real suspicious right now.
I'm looking like a character out
Yeah.
here in a play. You know what I'm saying? Whole actor.
Esquire with the super chat says, I implore you both to read up on the decades-long Ayers lawsuit, discrimination in funding, involving former Mississippi Governor Kurt Forsyth. Context matters. Yeah, I want to check that out.
Okay. Well, first of all,
yeah,
Esquire
the Ayers.
601. 601 is Mississippi. And Esquire is attorney, so that might be an attorney from Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, Esquire is an attorney. Yeah,
well, then
Esquire wins our
601,
trivia
601 is
every single
Mississippi,
week.
if I'm not correct.
Is it? Okay. Yeah.
So.
I'm going to definitely check that out,
might be a Mississippi-born attorney telling us that we need to read up on something.
Shout out to Web Visibility with the $20 super chat. Good looking. He says, it really comes down to the culture created by leadership. According to Forbes, Spelman College and Benedict College, which are attended by black women, both have nearly 39% alumni giving rate, amongst the highest in the U.S. Yeah, I know some Spelman folks that raise a lot of money, and but again, the thing is, those institutions have to be able to produce alumni that are going to get jobs that are going to allow them to have the capital to invest back into their institution. Jay Short with the super chat says, what do you think are the top 5 freestyle beats ever? Ambitions of a Rider, Benjamin's, Watch for the Hook to be in there. Top 5 freestyle beats, man. I'm going Mass Appeal, right? No particular order. Mass Appeal, Incarcerated Scarfaces, Shook Ones, Part 2. Damn, okay. I would say Grinding, but that's too easy, right? Is Grinding the top 5 freestyle beat?
Possibly. I think Cream and Who Shot You.
Okay, I see Who Shot You. I see, because there's been some classic freestyles over it. Yeah, I'm with the Cream.
Better than the rhyme over Cream, but
there's another one though. I think I Shot You always turns out great.
I Shot You turns out great. I Shot You and Who Shot You. Mass Appeal. A lot of people tore up Grinding when it came out.
They did.
It was the first
93 to Infinity is a good one too.
93 to Infinity is pretty good.
Okay, I think I'm gonna say this, and you and I were talking about this offline, and I don't care. I'm gonna say this in front of the audience.
I remember a lot of people catching wreck over who got the props a little bit.
I love that one too. So you know how I told you I was gonna talk to Mickey Fax? I hollered at Mickey Fax today.
Oh yes.
He said he's down. So
Let's
we are
go.
working on a freestyle show concept for According to Hip Hop.
Let's
This
go.
kind of pulling together, Mickey Fax's rhyming school that he has out there, Pendulum Inc., and some of the students and some of the teachers, himself and other freestyle guys, and just really get the bars together. And I know there's a lot of platforms that let people express their bars, but I feel like on According to Hip Hop, we'll take it to the next level with the bars. And why not start with somebody that's incredible with the bars like Mickey Fax? So he said he's down.
I mean, that's say
So
less.
stay tuned. It should be really good.
Say less. Stay tuned. Oh, that's fire! You just made my day.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. He was like, "Yo, let's do this. It sounds good."
No,
I was
I'm
like,
excited
okay.
too. Like, because here's the thing. I mean, just for me, I want artists to understand that it's like, nah, like MCing is MCing is MCing still. I don't care what generation it is. And so I'm looking forward to trying to bring people to the table this understanding that it's like, oh no, we putting you in the funnel. We want you behind the scenes. We want you interviewing on According to Hip Hop. We want you spitting bars in Mickey Fax Rhyme School. You get what I'm saying? Like all of that. I love it.
Yeah, man. It ups the level of everything, and hip hop wins. Now, on that note, though, who would you say has freestyle of the year in 2022? I would say so far, but the years is wrapped.
Trying to think of one that like really stood out in my mind.
Was the Saha this year?
Was that this year? I don't think that was this year. I thought that was the end of last year.
Was that not this year?
I'll listen to a lot of rap.
What do y'all think out there? Because that's why I wanted to ask the people.
Really? I feel like that was last year.
Let me see. When he was on LA Leakers. Mike H with the super chat says, Nas said, we about to kidnap the rap game. Coop, blink twice if we getting more Nas and Hit Boy. I mean, it sounds like Nas pretty much said it, right?
I mean, my thing is that I'm gonna say this: shoot or shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like shoot or shoot, especially like when you're in a zone. Like when you're in a zone, you shoot, and so there's a variety of ways to take your shots if you're him. And so he just dropped an album, but variety of ways to take your shots. Like the 21 record, that's a different shot. That's from, that's like a bank shot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Post up, back you down, hit you with the bank shot. Not your normal move from Nas. So,
I'm seeing Simba. I'm seeing Nick Grant. I looked up the Saha. That was this year. That was 6 months ago. The Baby, Pusha P freestyle. People are saying, Conway.
You like that?
I didn't see the Nick Grant freestyle. Styles P on Mad Papa was dropping gems. Okay. Was the J. Cole freestyle this year?
I think that was this year.
Okay. Simba. A lot of people are saying Simba. Yeah, Saha was this year. I think the Saha was the best one I heard.
I heard the Simba one too. I would want to go listen to all of those again.
Shout out to Sellers with the super chat.
Sellers got some bars.
Freestyle beats definitely grinding. You didn't have to play the actual beat. You play it at the lunch table while you were freestyling. Yeah. Yeah, Saha gets my vote for freestyle of the year, but I guess we can go back and listen to some more. But everybody's saying that Nick Grant went crazy. I like Nick Grant.
Me too. Yeah, I think that's one of those. We need to go back and listen to all those.
Yeah. Okay. So on top of that, should we start with like the top songs of the year? Or you want to start with the top verses or the top albums?
I'm flexible. Whatever the people actually want to do today is what I'm with.
Let's talk about the top songs then. I think that'll probably be easier to go through. What do y'all think? Y'all want to go songs, verses, or albums? Oh, Common had a freestyle this year. Was that this year? The Common freestyle?
I told you I'll be listening to a lot of rap.
Let's see. Albums. That's what Ohio K said. Albums. Okay. I guess we could work our way down. Let's start with albums and then go down to songs and then go down to verses. How about that?
That's fine.
Okay. KD3 is number one right now, right? I won't say not right now, unless Ab Soul beats it out.
Or the Mount Westmore, but I don't suspect either one of those things will be happening. So I think it is pretty fair to say that KD3 is album of the year at this point. And so with that being said, how are we truly rating this album? Because we are pulling up now roughly a month after its release date.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore able to probably, give it a more clear and concise rating. And so what do you think KD3 is?
I think it's a 5.
I do too. I honestly do think it's a 5. Like, it's a month later. I felt like it was going to be a 5 before I heard it. It felt like a 5 when I heard it. And we're here almost a month later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
Yeah. SSS, number 2.
I would concur with that sentiment. I was listening to SSS literally last night. It is just like KD3 is easily the best project this year. I think SSS is clearly the second best project this year.
Now, what would we rate that?
Now, that's where things are fascinating, because it's just so unfair, because he's the greatest MC of all time, to try to juxtapose him even to a prime Freddie. Even at this stage, with him sounding like a prime him, you're not going to win the content or the concept game against that guy. Not a peak version of himself, like on any sort of level. Like how about this? If he's a problem for a prime Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, like, not a conversation that there's like, no. So
even on the versatility end, it's like, yeah. I mean, because that's what we really, praised SSS for the most, was the versatility.
And so I would tell you that
took
it's
that
like,
to another level.
And so this is where I guess maybe our harsher critics as fans are probably going to be happy that I'm doing this. I would have to give SSS a 4.5, man.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The scales have been tipped. Now, cheat codes 3.
Huh. Yeah. I would say cheat codes 3. Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah. Cheat codes is 3. This is your 1, 2, 3.
Cheat codes get a 4.5, or we're going a little lower?
No, because I just feel like the Freddie's a better listen, and that his song run where he hits his stretch is just better. It's just better songs. The bar work's not better, but it's like the same thing with Thought. The same thing with Nas applies to Thought, which is like, well, bar wise, if you were expecting something better, I suggest you go play a Nas or a Rakim record.
Yeah, it's not too many levels to go with that.
Right.
How far down are you going? Like 4.4 or 4.3?
I'm thinking 4.3, and this is why the production on SSS is just clearly better than cheat codes. And it's not a knock to Danger Mouse, but Freddie just like picked a masterful beat selection, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, very entertaining. Jay Short with the super chat says, Shay and Armani had nice freestyles too in 2022. Yeah,
I liked Armani's freestyle and Shay's freestyle. Yeah.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, KD3, No Fear of Time, Cheat Codes, SSS, JID, Forever Story, Drill Music in Zion, Earth Gang, and Food for Thought in that order, in my opinion. Been a good year. Those are all really good albums. Hold on, let's look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it?
6, 7, 8, 9. Is it 10? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
No Kendrick? I'm joking. All right. So number 4.
Don't be funny with the people, man.
So number 4. we have who's on the board, right? We got the
We got No
Black
Fear of
Star,
Time
No
on the
Fear of
board.
Time on the board.
Like if we were doing like Mel Kiper's board, like best available, I think like No Fear of Time would be the album that was number one on the board. But is it the fourth best album this year? Like, is it better than Earth Gang's album?
That's my conversation. And I know a lot of people, that I see in the rebroadcast or in the comment section think that we're rating the Earth Gang album too high and we overrate it.
No,
It's a really good album.
no, it's really dope. It's really
Yeah.
great. Yeah, we didn't
You know
misrate
what?
anything.
I'm going Earth Gang, Ghetto Gods over No Fear of Time. This is a strong top five, by the way.
I don't know if I totally agree with that because here's where I do lean on lyrics. If all things are comparable, because think about it, we have duo.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the best bar work from the four MCs? And that's actually, and listen to what I'm about to say. Well, that's actually Talib on No Fear of Time.
No, definitely. And
about his bar work on No Fear of Time, I would actually give it the edge over Earth Gang, Ghetto Gods, because Talib is an MC or a maybe not an MC of the year contender, but a lyricist of the year contender. Based on that verse on Peppers and what he did on No Fear of Time, oh yeah, he was like that.
He did his thing this year.
And we try to highlight and pay homage when people get busy like that.
No, I agree.
So if all things are being considered, I'm going to actually pick No Fear of Time and actually about Talib.
Okay. I think that the only...
But I'm cool with maybe if these albums end up getting the same rating and are tied. Like I believe King's Disease 1 and ELE 2 were tied for us.
Yeah.
And
see, all right, this is my thing with the Ghetto Gods album. I just think that in relation to No Fear of Time, it just had more concepts and was better put together. Just the subject matter, it flowed. You know what I mean? Like, and it gave you a little bit of everything too. Like you got bangers on there, like the song with Future or whatnot, and then you got records like, you know what I'm saying?
The record with CeeLo.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like just the range and balance of it all. I think when you look at albums like SSS and you look at KD3 and everything that those albums are able to give you, I think the Earth Gang's album gets closer to doing that than No Fear of Time does.
You want to know what? I think you just swayed my opinion. I think you're right because you know what I just talked about? I think Strong Friend is the best record between these two projects if I were picking one song.
Yeah.
Like if we were making a playlist like we've been doing the station heads. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to have to
we got to do a 2022.
I scheduled the station head at the wrong time. I'm going to have to change the time on the station head. But if we were like doing a 2022 station head.
We should do that.
No, we do. That's what I've been doing. I told you I've started cataloging from 2000. I'm on 2001 tonight. But I'd like to do we definitely need to do an According to Hip Hop year-end wrap-up station head, like where we play like the bangers and sit down and talk about them and why they made our list and how.
Right.
And all that. Yeah, we definitely need to do that on the According to Hip Hop one. But you just convinced me, actually. I think I'm cool about the versatility and the more album-like feel that's closer to SSS and Cheat Codes and KD3, like you said, that we got out of Ghetto Gods. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with putting it slightly ahead of No Fear of Time, but not by much. So
I think they could get similar ratings, if not the same rating. But
okay, that's what I'm saying. If we're putting one at 4 and one at 5, can we do that and give them the same rating, or is it tied? That's what I'm telling you.
I don't think that the ratings are based on score. I mean, what do y'all think? I mean,
you want to know what's crazy? As much as I guess we've been the only real critics of the Pusha T album this year, which is crazy because he's my favorite MC outside of Nas. The more I keep thinking about that album, the further up this list it keeps coming up. When I look at the things that we're asking for, when we're like starting to parse things out.
Yeah.
I would tell you that I think the Ghetto Gods and the Black Star are both 4.2s.
Okay.
I would actually tell you. I mean, Mike, I would actually tell you that I actually would put it at. No, it's not better than Thought. 4.2.
Okay. Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat says KD3 album of the year, Aquamarine song of the year. Period. Hey, can't disagree with that. LP with the super chat says KD3 clearly clearing everybody by so much. We need to knock the rating down on some of these other 4.5s and albums. There was like a 4 and 5 album this year max. There's like 4 out of 5 albums this year max. Okay, yeah, I think that's what we're getting to, because this has kind of knocked everything into perspective. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, I feel like JID's album really should be higher. He makes his style look so easy that we take it for granted how crazy talented he is with finding his pocket. I had him next.
We're actually getting to him, I think. Right.
I had him next. So, I think.
Hold on. No, hold on. I don't know about that. So let's stop for a second, because I think this is where things get interesting. So, okay, so where are our next set of albums? Because here's what I see when I see the next set of albums. So we've got the 5 covered. So our top 5, we have KD3 at 1. We have Soul Sold Separately at 2. We have Cheat Codes at 3. We have Ghetto Gods at 4. We have No Fear of Time at 5. Correct?
Very strong, yes.
That's super strong. Now, I would tell you the next set of albums that I would kind of like put in conversation for the next 5 would be the JID, the Lupe, the West Side Gun, the Ransom, Che Noir, Rome Streets.
I love the Rome Streets, but I think those 5
like all of those would be in the next, in the Pusha T. All of those would be in the next set of that 5. Now, who's making the 5 out of those? Because I just named like 8 or 9.
I think the first 5 that you named, I would say Shay, Food for Thought, because she got a couple projects. JID.
You're right.
Lupe. Drill Music in Zion. West Side. And Ransom. Yeah.
Okay.
I think those are the next 5. In what order, I'm not sure. And that's what we're going to get to.
So stop for a second. I just want to make sure we're clear about this. So you don't think Pusha T made a top 10 rap album this year?
I don't think his album's better than any of those 5 we just mentioned. Do you?
The Ransom is the album that has slid the most. Do you think the Ransom album is still better than the Pusha T album?
I think so. I don't know.
Right.
That one can be discussed, actually, because the Ransom is super consistent, right?
He is.
But Pusha has highlights on there.
His highlights are pretty stellar. And I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to tell you why I'm like feeling that way. I did go see him live when he was down here.
Yeah, you did. And you saw
even
those
the records
songs live.
Even the records on here that I'm not the biggest fan of. I can look at Kanye and Pharrell as producers, and it's like, oh, but they gave him some great live set shit to go off of. Okay. And I know because, and I'm not saying I know as in like I'm a know it, I know everything, but I know that those Ransom records that I like prefer to hear in my car, maybe over some of those Pusha T records, I know how that live thing goes.
Okay.
You know?
Let's ask the people.
And think about this. Brambleton, Let the Smoker Shine the Coop, Diet Coke, and Neck and Wrist are all higher highs than anything on Rancer's album.
I'll give you that. Jay Short with Super Chat says, early nomination for Let the Smoker Shine the Coop as Song of the Year. Best mix of old and new school. Great wordplay and sounds great in the ride. Let the Smoker Shine the Coop is hard.
It does. So here's what I would tell you. If I were picking the next 5. Okay, no, forget that. Let's just get the 6.
Okay.
First of all, I think the Pusha T album, in hindsight, is actually better than Ransom's album and Lupe's album. But I don't think it's better than Che's album or West Side's album.
Or JID.
Okay? Or JID's. It's not better than those 3, but it is better than those other 2, in my opinion. And I will tell you, and this is what I mean about leaning on the bar work, and I know Ransom is nice. And this is what I mean about I'm fair. Notice who I'm talking about. oh, I can't take Ransom in no MC battle over Lupe, not over Lupe. Like over a lot of people.
What
But
about
if
the
we sitting up here,
Denzel Curry album?
if we're splitting the hairs, Mike, if we splitting hairs, oh no.
What
Like
about the Denzel Curry
I'm
album?
not putting the dope I'm not putting the dope lyrical album from Ransom in over the dope lyrical album from Lupe. That's not how this
No, I
goes.
got you. I
Yeah,
was
that's
gonna
not how
ask you though, Denzel Curry, because I know he keeps coming up.
I think that project is slightly overrated, although I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Mad Max of the Super
With
Chat
all
says,
honesty.
I agree. KD3 is the best album, but a 5 is overrating it. WTF SMH gets light, serious, interlude, ending to reminisce. Come on now. KD3 is a strong 4.5. Tough judges here. Jadarian with the Super Chat says, nah, No Rest for the Wicked is top 5. Okay. 36
Okay, so
Chambers
tell me.
says,
So how about this? This is what I mean. Okay, if you think No Rest for the Wicked is top 5, go show me the Let the Smoker Shine the Coop. Go show me the Peppers. You feel me?
yeah.
Go show it to me. Like, don't just feel it. It has to be evident. Evidence.
36 Chambers with the Super Chat says, where do y'all stand on the Czarface and Denzel Curry album this year? Listen to both again, and they do go kind of crazy.
No, I have a whole list of albums in front of me, and it's long. And this is what I mean. It's been a sneaky good year, and it's been a deep year. But some of these albums aren't going to make the cut. That's why we're parsing it out. But what I would tell you is that if we're just picking an end-to-end hip-hop album that doesn't have the quote-unquote bangers on it, that's Che Noir's food for thought. And so I'm cool with Che taking the number 6 spot and then JID taking the number 7 spot.
I think the JID might be better, in my opinion.
It's more entertaining.
I would
it's got more
reverse
versatility.
those things. Yeah.
But they both have help too. You do understand that.
Yeah, they do. Melvin Wright with the Super Chat says, do you guys get a chance to listen to Currency?
Yeah, of course.
Uh-huh. I'm talking about the new Currency.
He just dropped one, but that's not as good as Continuance with Alchemist.
Is it as good as Continuance? I mean, I want to ask there because you listen to it? Okay.
No, I listen to it. It's not.
36 Chambers says,
personal. He's consistent, but
Aquamarine, Johnny P's Caddy, and Brambleton are Song of the Year candidates for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
I like these nominations you guys had. So
how about this? No, how about this, Mike? I kind of took your favor and put Ghetto Gods ahead of No Fear of Time, even though it's getting the same rating. I kind of feel that way about the Che and the JID. Like, I feel like those are the 4.1s, but I feel like the Che is better end to end. I do.
Okay. I know there were a couple of discrepancies with JID's closing too.
Yeah, and also too, there are some there are some missteps. Like when I hear Che rap, it's like, it's different.
No, you did a great breakdown of some of the missteps that were on the Forever Story. And
I don't want to kind of go back over them.
And it was very legit.
Like
go back and look at the video. He did a great, or was that on the Patreon? But you were right.
No. We did it. Well, we did it on the show where I just kind of went through my notes and broke it down. But that was because it was worthy of being broke down. Because to be honest with you, of all the top 10 contenders, he was the only really kind of relative newcomer. You know,
the Forever Story at 7, Food for Thought at 6.
Yes, 4.1. Are you cool with that? Or
I'm cool with that.
Right.
All right. So what we have right now, it's a pretty strong list right here. We got KD3 with a 5, SSS with a 4.5, Cheat Codes with a 4.3, Ghetto Gods with a 4.2, No Fear of Time 4.2 at number 5, Food for Thought at number 6 with a 4.1, and The Forever Story at number 7 with a 4.1. Do you think we possibly rated KD3 too high? Is it a 5?
I think.
Where are the flaws? Let's go there.
Okay, so that's the first thing. So when I'm saying that it's a 5, well, it has no inherent flaws. This is a peak Nas rhyming. This is one of the most agile production performances that you're going to find from one producer in hip hop, like in any decade, quite frankly. Like, how about this? Like, one of the beautiful things about hip hop classics is that they usually have a sound from the producer that you can identify. Like when you were listening to the Low End Theory or The Chronic or Doggy Style, you can hear Enter the Wu-Tang, the Purple. Like you can hear the producer and you know who the producer is. I can't think of an album as dope as this where if you're going beat by beat, you really don't know who's making the beat, though.
No, it's true.
And that's a high mark of difficulty. Did I mention that the person on the mic is almost 50? And people considered that person's lyrical prime literally to be 25 years ago.
And he sounded super comfortable on every single track. The versatility points are through the roof. The
versatility points and the agility mark. So here's what my question would be. And this is what I mean. I thought I was going to get a top 50 rap album. A top 20 rap album usually has those songs that you kind of know when you hear them that you're going to be playing them 20 years from now. That's what a top 20 caliber rap album has. And what you'll find is that the albums that trickle into 25 to 30 to even 35 have that too. I don't think this album has that. But if you start looking about 35 to 50, Mike, and you start talking about the quality of the records and like the versatility, the agility, the lyrics, the concept, the MCing, the production, it's like, well, it's a top 50 rap album. Like, how about this? This is what I would submit to people. Show me the rap album that you've heard in the last 5 years is better, and then give me some evidence, some actual real evidence as to why.
Let's see.
Do you have any real evidence that there's an album that's been better than this in the last 5 years? Let's just kind of cut it off. Let's work it off in intervals. What have you heard in the last 5 years as good as this? And then bear in mind that he did it by his damn self, because any album that you're going to name that's comparable had way more fucking help. Because when I think about Pray for Paris and Alfredo, we'll think about who's on there.
Yeah.
Like literally, think even about it. Pray for Paris has Tyler, Freddie, Conway, Benny,
Wale,
Boldy,
Joey.
Okay, Alfredo has Benny, Conway, Tyler, Alchemist handling all of the production. Daytona has Rick Ross and Kanye handling the production. Victory Lap, go Astro World, Victory Lap. Go look around and think about it. It's not only that he has this, he's got Magic in the bag too. That's damn near a solo shot too.
Yeah.
It's like, so when people are like, it's not a 5, show me the album that's better in the last 5 years, including his shit.
TLTO with the super chat says, just want to say I love the two Southern brothers are talking hip hop because we're overlooked a lot. KD3 album of the year. Much love from the west side of Charlotte. Yeah. Appreciate the love.
I'm from the west side of Charlotte. What up?
Web Visibility says Michael and Quincy is song of the year. Love that. 36 Chambers says, yeah, KD3 is a 5. Potentially a top 50 hip hop album. Stables 08 says, so y'all gonna play my man Cannabis and not even rank his banger one step closer to infinity? It's questionably top 3 if we're talking about MCing in hip hop. Peace, brothers. Did I listen to that? I feel like I did. I'll go back. Is that the one with him and Pete Rock, right?
I feel like he's tripping.
Want to give it a shot. You know I'm a Cannabis fan. 36 Chambers says, KD3 has incredible rapping, every style of beat covered with flawless production and sampling. Sequencing is on point and no skips. No features. For a 50-year-old MC, it's the best album this decade.
Oh, I know it's the best album this decade. That's why I said like the last 5 years. This is like, no.
Mad Max with the super chat says, Che's album's not better than for the Forever Story. She don't got a brothers. Sisters and like
Crack
Cut It
Sandwich.
Out. And KD3 ain't no top 50. Bro, Victory Lap is better.
Victory
Mad
Lap's
Max
not
in the
better.
building.
And she, because the production and the rhymes are better on KD3. You understand? It's like when you say that, no disrespect to Nip. You know what I'm saying? Because I love Nip.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like the beats on Victory Lap aren't better than the beats on KD3. I know we're not talking about the rhymes and the concept. So what are you talking about when you say that? That's why I say, well, show me the album. Because really, you're going to have to go pull out Kanye and Kendrick's premium shit. That's why I told you the comps for this album are To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because those are the albums you're going to have to go to find the beat making, the concepts, and the rhymes hitting consistently at that level, song after song after song. Period. Those are the comps.
Jay Short with the super chat says, are you rating Shay based on the potential or the output? I like food for thought, but we all subconsciously know she will make a classic, so there's bias.
I mean, so y'all are really sold. How about this? I didn't find Che's album to have the ebbs and the flows that JID's album did. Like JID had some lower points than Che's album. I'm going to give the nod typically to the more consistent album. And right now, I think she's the better MC. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm giving the nod to the better album and the better MC. I'm not tripping.
What's next? Is it West Side?
And
number 8? Or is it Lupe?
No, I think the West Side's better than the Lupe, but I would go West Side than Lupe probably.
All right.
Because I mean, while we're talking about Song of the Year's contenders, Peppers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, West Side came through, man, and the collaborations on there are crazy.
And I think, and I believe I gave Drill Music and Zion a 4 when it came out. And so I think that kind of keeps it and kind of parses it fair, because I think the West Side and the Lupe are both 4s.
Both are 4s? Okay.
Yep.
All right. And that brings us to number 10. Web Visibility with the super chat says KD3 is a 4.5 for me because of the 3 skippable tracks. Serious Interlude, I'm on Fire, and First Time. The rest of the album is fire, though. You know, I said the same thing about I'm on Fire. I remember we were doing our station head or whatever, and then went back and played I'm on Fire, and I was like, yeah, this shit's tight. Yeah. You know, I think that sometimes when we get an album that has so much firepower, the ones that wow us the least, we deem them as weak, skippable songs. But if you're listening to those songs in a vacuum, those are dope songs.
And sometimes you got to listen to a record, too, and understand that it's like, well, there are songs that aren't meant for you.
Well, the Serious Interlude, I feel like it's kind of a light version of the previous song, right? I think that's probably what it might suffer from. First Time is dope. I like First Time. And, you know, they kind of got like a First Time challenge going, too. Because when we were listening the first time, it made me think about the first time I heard certain artists. Like,
I think the thing with the Serious Interlude and with I'm on Fire is where they're placed, because it's like the stuff before it and the stuff after it is just like, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean is like when you get done hearing an Atomic Bomb, it's like, well, your ears are still ringing, so you can't hear properly after you just got done hearing an Atomic Bomb. Your ears are still ringing. You feel me? So it's kind of hard for you to come back down and, like, you know, get those decibels down and, like, actually be able to hear it clearly. Because you hear, like, the way that KD3 starts, I mean, by the time you're getting to I'm on Fire and the Serious Interlude, I mean, you've heard the best rap stuff this year by the time you get to those songs. So it's like you've heard Legit and Thun and Mike and Quincy and 30. And Hood to Hood and Reminisce, like you've already heard these records by the time you're getting to those records, Mike. Those are flawless records.
Yeah. You know, you do realize that KD3 has made us forget all about Magic for a minute.
I kept trying to tell you. You were like, "What are your expectations?" I was like, "Top 50 rap album." You were like, "Magic." I was like, "Ain't nobody thinking about no Magic." I'm like, "So we thinking about this shit."
Magic was our album of the year last year.
No, it's
breathtaking. Looking back
it's not this. It's not this.
No. And looking back on it, I know the debate was KD2 and Magic, and I know it makes us sound like a Nas channel or whatever, but it's what it was, because KD2 was actually album of the year throughout the whole year. And then when Magic came, it's like, man, I don't know. And now looking back on it, nearly a year later, we made the right call. Magic should have been album of the year last
The
year.
Magic was album of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Short with the super chat says, your list shows no region is running hip hop now. Well,
Correct.
good to know that, because people will call us like New York bias when they start going through the list, and it'd be like 2 people from New York or something.
Hey, you want to know what? I want to see any other list that's going to have JID and Earth Gang in the top 10 at the same time. When people be kicking that New York bias stuff, show me any other media outlet that's like giving them that type of run. Shout out to Dreamville. Stick is a song of the year contender since we talking about Dreamville artists. Stick is up there.
I can't wait till we get into this song top 10 songs conversation.
We need to. Let's get to these top 20. Let's get these next, because I think the albums are going to be the toughest. So let's get through these next set albums. What's at 10? Ransom? Is Ransom 10?
Is Ransom 10 or is Pusha T 10?
Or Pusha T. I'm saying Push.
I want to ask the people.
That's fine. Because here's the thing. I would give its almost.
Should we put a poll out
4.
there or what?
Hold on. I would give its almost dry a 4 for the same reason I would give the West Side a 4. I just feel like the execution on the West Side and the production is better in terms of the consistency.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Mad Max with the super chat.
Push at 10.
Mad Max with the super chat says, it's a 5. This guy Nas said on Legit, we coming blacker than the Black Panther 2. Like, stop it. Love Nas, but it's getting ridiculous now. He didn't like that bar. Eric Terrell.
See, he's not. See, this is what I mean. Like, but say the rest of the bar. Don't go against the fam. That's something you don't do. Don't be Eddie Kane trying to sing your way back in the group. Like that street shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I mean. People have to understand.
But he was dropping the same day the Black Panther 2 came out, too.
Right. Well, that was part of it, too. But this is what I mean. People understand this. You know, he freestyling a lot of this shit, right?
Well, I don't know.
No. Listen. No. This is plug talk. I'm telling you all. You know, a lot of these bars that you're listening to on KD3 have been freestyle.
Incredible.
As in, like, he's walking in the studio and he's hearing the beat and he starts piecing it together and just spitting it out. And it starts working and connecting. Mike, do you know Rare? He rapped until the reel went off on Rare. On Rare off KD2. Like, there's a whole story about how Rare got created. I'm not going to share, but it's like, no, the nigga rapped till the reel went off, Mike. Like, he just rapped until like there was no more time or space left. It's like the original version of Rare is like 7, 8, 9 minutes long. Nigga wouldn't stop rapping.
Wow.
Rapping ass rapper.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, I'm on Fire is the best song when you add all the points about what Nas has done in the last 2 years. Like a 2022 I'm Bad type of song. So
listen, and you know, I know I told you this, you know, and me and 007 had a conversation. Nigga, he came back and recorded I'm on Fire and WTF SMH. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like, you know what type of zone you got to be in to make a whole album, go on tour with Wu-Tang Clan and Busta Rhymes, and then immediately come back and make records like that? Like, I don't think people understand how hard some of this shit is.
This is a zone.
Like, it'd be hard for a nigga to drive, like, and get off work from Atlanta and then drive 25 minutes like to Cobb and go jump in the Yo and record 2 verses that ain't nobody heard yet to this day. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That shit was hard. Like, you know how hard this is?
36 Chambers with a super chat says, Shay has deeper content than JID, but isn't touching him lyrically. The flow switches and the entendres on Radar are crazy. She's got a better rap voice and she's got a better delivery. I was just about to say something about that. Very few MCs out rap JID right now. Shay speaks from the soul more. Isn't the better MC. I think that a lot of
from the soul more. That's what made DMX the best MC. That's what made Tupac, Scarface. When you're saying that, like, listen to what you were saying.
Well, see, I think that a lot of people's issue with JID is kind of a Kendrick issue, where it's like the voice. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Shay has the better voice and delivery. You think JID's delivery is better than Shay's?
I think he has. Yeah, I think he has a better delivery, but I
No,
think
he
that
might
she
be
has a better
more
voice.
agile. He doesn't have a better one. Because what is his delivery? You get what I'm saying? By
How
you have
would
to
I
start asking
describe
certain
his
questions when you
delivery?
say that. Like Snoop has a certain delivery and a drawl that we know what it is. What is JID's delivery exactly at this point? You get that was some of my critiques of the album. So it's like you want to start unpacking it. This is what I mean. Is it's like, no, this is a great album from somebody who I think is going to get like the Forever Story is not going to be his best work.
I see what
You
you're
understand
saying,
what
and
I'm
I think a
saying?
lot of people feel the same way about Food for Thought. It's not going to be her best work.
It's not. But right now, she has what she's doing more figured out and consistent than he does.
Somebody
And
said that
that's
JID
okay.
is Kendrick Light. I could see that.
It's very disrespectful. You're not going to talk about the East Side like that up in here either. Like, that's what you're not about to do either. I'm one saying, no.
Well, for the
You're not about to do
Denzel
that.
Curry fans out there, and I get that, they keep saying it's ridiculous he's not on this list. Let us know what you would like for us to take
It
off.
wasn't like that, Mike.
We
Like,
got,
I don't,
no, let me
I'm
go down
sorry,
the
it wasn't
list.
like that.
I'm going to
No,
go down
it
the
wasn't
list.
like that. That and the Billy Woods wasn't like that. It was solid. It wasn't like that.
I'm going to go down the list. KD3, Sold Separately, Cheat Codes, Ghetto Gods, No Fear of Time, Food for Thought, The Forever Story, Hitler Wears Hermes 10, Drill Music in Zion, It's Almost Dry. Which one would you like for us to remove for Denzel Curry?
Shit. That's what I'm saying. When people be talking, it's like, you understand how you sound out loud when you say that? Like go show me where the Denzel Curry is better than that. I'm going to tell you, I had the Denzel Curry early because I still have, Mike, when I rate something, the Denzel Curry Melt My Eyes was a 3.75 when we rated it. Because we gave it a review. It made the show. It was good enough of an album that we were like, no, we need to review it and actually cover it. So it's a dope album. It's not what y'all saying it is.
Ramona Park, I thought, was better, in my opinion.
It is. So hold on. Let's get to this number 10. Pusha, right?
Yeah.
Ransom at 11.
Yeah.
Is the ransom a 4 to you?
Definitely.
Okay.
We don't have to go
about
20.
how not all things are created.
We don't have to go 20 today. You know what I mean? I think we can go on to the next song. I want to kind of cap it off at 10 so we don't get stuck. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, yeah. Well, let's just stop right there.
Yeah. We can revisit this. It's not the very, very end of the year yet, but...
Well, no. So hold on. Let's just go through our top 10 right quick, and then we'll move to the next one. So our top 10 albums this year are KD3 at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Sold Separately at number 2. Cheat Codes at number 3. Ghetto Gods at number 4. No Fear of Time at number 5. Food for Thought at number 6. Forever Story at number 7. Hitler Wears Hermes 10 at number 8. Drill Music in Zion at number 9. And Till It's Almost Dry at number 10.
It's almost dry, right?
Oh, it's almost dry. Till it's almost dry. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Problematic how the producers. It's problematic how the producers left Pusha out in the street.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, and Nas was telling Jay, "Don't be scared. Now I'm on fire." Yeah. I hope that. Speaking of which, man, Absol. You know what? We'll talk about that in a second. I'm gonna give a brief commercial break until we get into our top 10 songs.
A word from our sponsors.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to According to Hip Hop, a trivia battleground that only the most devoted hip hop heads will survive. Are you ready to step up to the table? How well do you know the lyrics of today's hottest artists? Prove your hip hop superiority in order According to Hip Hop trivia game today.
That was a little commercial break from our trivia game, According to Hip Hop Trivia. You can actually go on accordingtohiphop.com, click the game link, and purchase that perfect stocking stuffer for a hip hop fan. Now, top 10 hip hop songs of 2022. Let me go through these super chats and then we'll get this list started. Mad Max says, Shay's voice isn't all that good, bro. JID has way better flow and his delivery is on par. And I'm not even a Hove guy, but if he said that Black Panther line, we take away his GOAT status.
No, we didn't, because he did the Drunken Love verse and nobody said anything.
I see somebody say I hate Jeezy for no reason. Come on, guys. I don't hate Jeezy. I just don't think he's a dope MC like that.
You just got to stop saying that in the city, Mike. You can't be saying that in the city.
I don't. Sorry. I mean,
I know you've never cared for Jeezy, though.
Yeah. JB was his with the super chat says, let's not act like all fives are flawless. That's true.
It's true.
But I think
Reasonable
this
Doubt
one
got some flaws. Infamous got some flaws. The Patreon we're about to do on Friday, the Infamous and Reasonable Doubt,
I'm
two
looking
top
forward
20 albums, they have some flaws.
Yeah. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, JID is Kendrick without the savior God complex.
He's also Kendrick without Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. Like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing?
Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop, Mike is not about Denzel Curry. This is about hip-hop purists not liking Freddie for some reason. They feel he's a trap rapper at heart. Freddie is an interesting thing because Freddie is an MC's MC, but he's a trap rapper, and y'all want to talk about this Jeezy thing. Freddie is what Jeezy would be if he was a real dope lyricist. Do y'all really think that Jeezy's a better rapper than Freddie? Are we going to go there? T-Nitty with the super chat says, Currency and Benny was better than Pusha. I'm not mad at the Benny thing. I'm not mad at the Currency thing either.
Okay, so here's what I tell you about Tana Talk 4, which I really enjoyed. Once again, Brambleton, Let the Smoker Shine the Coop.
Yeah.
Diet Coke, Neck and Wrist. Give me the 4 records that's competing on the Tana Talk 4. You feel me?
That's fair. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Freddie is a dope MC, but he has a sleepy voice to me. It's not that he's a trap rapper. It's that he doesn't sound exciting or engaging to me like the others.
I don't agree with that sentiment at all. And you want to know what's crazy? This is the first year I've heard people really complaining about Freddie's voice. Maybe it's because my family's from the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad's side of the family is from Youngstown. So it's like the voice I don't have a problem with, but that might be, you know what I'm saying?
I think for a lot of people, his voice and flow doesn't match. So we haven't seen anybody with such an agile flow with a voice like that.
No, I told you, he's an outlier. Like, niggas with voices like that don't try to rap like that. That's what's so impressive about it.
Yeah.
Like, they changed their whole style. Like they changed their whole style up about having a voice like that. He's like, nah, like, I'm from the Midwest. Rapid fire flows.
Yeah. Mad Max with the super chat says, you can say all the fives ain't flawless, but if you have 3 or more skips, you can't be a 5. And you got Ghetto Guys over Future is insane. Yeah, Future is not here yet. I'm going to go back and listen to the Future album again. We have a pretty loaded year.
Future.
Yeah.
I got the rating for the Future album right here.
I like Future's album.
We gave the Future a 4.
Yeah. So I'm sure all of this stuff that's living in the 11 to 15 range is going to be kind of similarly rated.
Now you want to, and so I also want to go ahead and say this now. Do you see how our top 10 went? And y'all think Kendrick made a top 20 rap album this year? Like,
nobody's complaining about Kendrick not being on.
Are you? Like, show me what top 5 is being smoked on exactly.
I really like Conway's album, man. I think that
we ain't even talked about God Don't Make Mistakes. That's what I'm saying. When it's like, when I came up here about 3 weeks ago, I was like, Kendrick's album probably ain't even gonna make the top 20. People's like, oh, you're such a hater. It's like, no, I listen to music all the time, every day. Like, I don't know. Hold on, wait for it. Like, it's my job. Right. Right.
Well, all right. Speaking of Kendrick,
we talked about the DJ Shay, the Rome Streets, the Armani, the Game, the Joey, the Vince.
Yeah.
Hold on, the Czarface, the Meth, the Fife Dog. Like, oh, and you think that he made a top 20 rap album this year? The Currency and Alchemist, the KRS-One, the Benny, the Conway, and you think he made a top 20 rap album this year? What you smoking on?
T Nitty with the super chat says
Can
Johnny.
we all get a pack of that and break it down and split the profits for the holidays? Like, what is that?
T Nitty says Johnny P's Caddy, Saint Nick Brick, Unk Bun, Game was greater than Pusha. This is what I'm gonna say.
Those songs aren't gonna do it. Not against those songs that I named, but I hear you.
LP with the super chat says, respectfully, those saying that Freddie got the same flow and the voice ain't listening. His stuff outside of Madlib and Alchemist albums. He is very versatile.
That's what I keep trying to say.
I guess top 10 songs, right? I don't expect these to be in order. I guess we could just throw some slots out there and kind of order them as we go.
Yeah, I think we just need to order these.
Johnny P's Caddy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Period.
All right. Johnny P's Caddy. I know you said Stick was
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. They went ham. Bone.
Okay. Michael and Quincy, I heard somebody say something about that.
Correct.
Michael and Quincy is a song
second verse of the year contender. J. Cole's verse on Johnny P's Caddy is a verse of the year contender too.
Okay.
So there's some verse of the year contenders on the best songs right there too.
I nominate Push and P.
I'm cool with that.
Brambleton or Let the Smoker Shine, the Coop or Diet Coke?
It's Let the Smoker Shine, the Coop.
Okay.
Like, people talk about wanting to push a T with depth. That's what I keep talking about. It's like, nah, that's for the fans and for the heads who really know. It's like, don't tell me that this dude don't do other stuff. But if you want to just talk about the record, like Let the Smoker Shine, the Coop, when it comes on and it comes on in your car, like Fam said earlier, it's different. It's Let the Smoker Shine, the Coop.
36 Chambers says Brambleton, Crack Sandwich, Yonders for songs. I like Yonders.
I thought Crack Sandwich was fascinating. I thought Brother and Them. Hold on, Strong Friend by Earth Gang to me is better than those songs that he named though. Strong Friend by Earth Gang.
Okay. Space Rabbit. What do you think?
Is Space Rabbit the best song on Soul Sold Separately? Because I don't think so.
What do you think?
But I love Space Rabbit. Space Rabbit's crazy.
CIA.
Nah.
Space Rabbit is crazy.
Space Rabbit's crazy. You don't think Blackest in the Room is the best song on Soul Sold Separately? That's what I'm saying. When people be asking Freddie, like, oh, well, he's just a trap rapper, and then he talks the way he talks on Blackest in the Room.
We
ignored. Sit up here and we go to CIA and Space Rabbit. You see what I'm saying?
What about Rabbit Vision?
I was actually thinking Rabbit Vision.
I was thinking Rabbit Vision too.
I was thinking Rabbit Vision and PYS are actually like PYS is actually like the low key banger of the album.
That's my favorite song on the album. Again, I'm biased, but
You're
I like
a DJ Paul fan.
Yeah, but I like Rabbit Vision because I'm a huge fan of Kentronada too.
I thought Rabbit Vision was where that album became album of the year before KD3. I thought it happened on Rabbit Vision, and I thought Blackest in the Room was the most impressive performance on the album. And so I'm cool with either. Like I'm gonna let you call it.
Okay, the people are saying Rabbit Vision. What about Peppers?
Peppers is easy in there. That's easy. That might end up being the song of the year. It's a definite possibility. Aquamarine obviously is his first.
Aquamarine, yeah.
I think Aquamarine is going to end up being song of the year. It still is.
I'm fine with that. I'm really fine with that.
I think.
What about the Rome Streets
record? When I listen
record?
to it, how about this? Like, I think Michael and Quincy is a better record technically, but only technically. It doesn't feel like Aquamarine.
A lot of people are saying Peppers. What about the Rome
Peppers
Streets joint?
Huh?
What about
Blow for Blow? Yeah, Blow for Blow is in there.
Blow for Blow is crazy, man.
Blow for Blow. I told you that's the best bar of the year. Just you stand next to the God like Abraham. I was like,
I love Blow
for
Blow, man.
That's how you end a rap song.
That's one of the. I think that's a verse of the year candidate too.
What, Benny's verse on Blow for Blow? No, I'm with you. That is. Oh my God.
Jay Short with the super chat says, not trying to open up a can of worms, but is the Game song from Drillmatic in contention? Degree of difficulty was a 10, and he executed. I think the Black Slim Shady is one of the best songs of 2022.
No, I'm not. It's not. It's not.
36 Chambers with a super chat. Rock should get some love. Daddy Kane was fire.
Speaking of Daddy Kane, Quantum Leap. If there was going to be a song, but I don't think it's going to register on this list.
Okay, I got 10 now. You want me to go through it? I see Thun on the list too. Or people are saying Thun in the chat.
Man, people keep saying that. Okay, so Thun, that's what I like to call. It's like that's that classic East Coast hip hop. Like, oh my God, New York going crazy. Like, I get it.
I like Joey's Survival's Guilt. I think that was good.
I don't know if that's top 10 worthy though.
This is what I got so far. Johnny P's Caddy, Stick, Michael and Quincy, Push and P, Let the Smoker Shine the Coop, Strong Friend, Rabbit Vision, Peppers, Aquamarine, Blow for Blow. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, Yonders came to mind from No Fear of Time.
You know what song I really liked from, somebody said Home Invasion. Song on the Games album that I loved was Outside. But maybe that's just me personally.
Yeah, it's
not in there. That sample, I don't know where that shit came from.
Sample of the year is a sample on Legit.
Oh yeah.
It's a sample of the year. That's the sample of the decade so far.
Okay, sample of the year, legit.
Yeah, sample of the year is legit.
People like Home Invasion. Right, Home Invasion is getting a lot of props right now. Even though I thought La La Land was my favorite song on the album. Huh?
What?
I said Home Invasion from the Game is getting a lot of love in the chat.
Here's another album we forgot about, Mike, The Planet Asia and Nug Life.
Yeah.
That's better than Kendrick's album. Yeah, it is. Same coast.
Well, speaking of Kendrick, what about Silent Hill? You don't think Silent Hill gets a song of the year? What about Auntie's Diaries? Auntie's Diaries doesn't get a song of the year consideration.
Yeah,
N95.
That's what they're playing on Crenshaw right now.
N95.
That's what they're playing in East Point right now. That's what they're playing in the Fifth Ward. That's what they're playing up in Baltimore right now. That's what they're playing up in the D in Chicago. You know what they're playing that.
Ma Sober. No. N95, no. We Cry Together?
Are you serious, Mike? Are you being serious? Are you being funny? I'm just asking. Like, are you being funny or are you being serious? You just asking questions.
I'm asking. Should We Cry Together get in the top song?
Man, we gonna cry together if that make any top song list, okay? We all gonna cry. We should be.
What about the Heart Part 5? First of all, I can't believe they just went back and added the Heart Part 5. I'm looking at it now.
The Heart Part 5 to the album?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. They added
It's officially a flop.
It is, yeah.
It's officially a flop.
It is. When you got to do that to a Kendrick album, he had to add the heart.
One of these Heart series these Heart series haven't even been worth breathing around the cover of his previous albums.
Yeah, he had.
They haven't even been worth getting close to the cover of his previous albums.
Maybe he
his
added
cover work hasn't been stellar.
Maybe he added it for Grammy consideration, but again, that's still a flop.
I want to keep it West Coast and talk about DJ Quick, not about this mid.
You want to talk about what DJ Quick said?
We got our top 10 songs?
I got 10 songs, but I don't know if it's our top 10. Hold on, let me get to the super chat real quick.
What do you think about Diesel with Cool G Rap?
I was going to ask you about the Busta Rhymes record with Conway and Big Daddy Kane.
Kane has a verse of the year contender on the verse. I don't know if it's a song of the year, but Kane's verse is a verse of the year contender.
Okay. I don't know about Diesel. I'm looking at our list right now. It's pretty tough. Mad Max with the super chat says, so KD 3, a 5, but Thun not a top 10. Really, guys?
Yes, really. You East Coast biased ass niggas that never want Nas to do nothing but some hardcore East Coast shit. Let that shit go. Right.
So Johnny P's cat.
Like Mike, objectively speaking, you can make an argument that Thun's not even a top 5 song on KD3 on some real shit.
What about the Heart Part 5?
What about it? Next.
So this is what we got. We got Johnny P's Caddy, Stick, Michael and Quincy, Pushin' P, Let the Smoker Shine the Coop, Strong Friend, Rabbit Vision, Peppers, Aquamarine, Blow for Blow.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that Diet Coke hasn't made it. I think Diet Coke is strong. But it
You
kind
think
of
Diet
came
Coke's
away.
better than any of these songs that we named? One should be moved out? Who should be moved in favor of Diet Coke if you feel this way?
I mean, if anything would be moved, it'd be Let the Smoker Shine the Coop. But I think that the way that Diet Coke was presented to us kind of took away from the song's legs. And
You mean the way Kanye abandoned Pusha T midstream and then left the rest of Pharrell and then split this album up and left it feeling disconnected, disjointed, which we've been talking about all year, but people telling us that we some haters. You mean that?
He definitely
You mean
did.
that? Right, that.
So, you ready to go into the verses? Because I see that none of the Jay-Z featured songs are on the top 10 songs. So maybe
But
he
the
gets
songs
the
weren't
top
good
verse.
enough, but let's get the verses and then we can talk some DJ Quick and then maybe some Kyrie and then we can slide.
Yeah. JY with the super chat says, "Peace, brothers. Damn, I've been really late today. Going to Kendrick concert tonight. Gonna be mad sleepy during the Mr. Morale songs. Love the show. Yo, enjoy the show tonight. Silent Hill, I think, is definitely gonna make our top 20. But Kendrick got some bangers. Is he just performing stuff from a majority of the stuff from this album? Or how's his set list going? Have you checked out his set list for his tour?
First of all, I have no reason to do that. I have no reason to do that.
We're Kendrick fans. We're hip hop fans.
No, I have no reason to do that. And I don't even... Mike,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that it would behoove him as an entertainer to get on stage and perform these songs mostly or perform the prior catalog mostly? What would it behoove him to do?
The prior catalog, but he has to perform the new stuff because his whole sets are designed around his new material and not the old stuff.
I'm so sorry to hear
He's
that.
one of those artists that he's going to have to really... He lives so in the moment and how he puts his projects together. Whenever he does a tour, he kind of has to just do the songs that are current because he doesn't even look right doing some of the old stuff with the current sets, with the Crown of Thorns and stuff. Like, you can go out there and do, Money Trees. Maybe he does. I don't know. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Conway's song Wild Chapters is fire. Your thoughts?
I like Wild Chapters.
I like Wild Chapters. Him and
Conway's
Jill
album
Scott.
is fire. That's an album that's easily making the top 20.
Yeah.
The Tear Gas record with Lil Wayne and Rick Ross, that might make our top 20 song list.
What about a record with Jill Scott though?
What, Chanel Pearls?
Mm-hmm.
I think Tear Gas is probably the better rap record. Chanel Pearls is probably the better look. Either way.
Yeah, you got Jill Scott rhyming.
It's like picking Amsterdam or 16 off Rick Ross's album. It's like, which way you want to go? You
Right.
know?
36 Chambers with the super chat says, Diet Coke has questionables. I'm sorry. Diet Coke has quotables. I'm tripping. It says, songs bump in the ride. I like Diet Coke, man. But see, I feel like this about Diet Coke. Diet Coke kind of came
and didn't it drop
and
last year, Mike? Didn't Diet Coke drop last year?
No, it just feels like that. I don't know why
it did
Diet
drop
Coke
last year, Mike. That is a lie. We covered it when Diet Coke dropped. It was dropping this time last year.
Was it? Huh.
Yes, that's how long he pushed this album. Diet Coke dropped November of last year. You want to know? We want some evidence.
Oh, you might be right, actually. Because we were complaining about the fact
Diet
that
Coke
they...
might not even be a Song of the Year contender because, they promoted this album of the year last year.
Jay Short with the super chat says, DJ Quick saying what people been saying out here for a minute. Quick is a musician and a one-man band. Real recognize real. JY with the super chat says he's doing like 4 songs from his flop out of an album. That's it? Just 4 songs? That's not a good look. 36 Chambers says, how CNN gonna react when God Did isn't verse of the year? I don't know. MSNBC is gonna go crazy.
Diet Coke was technically released on February 8th.
Okay. It just feels old. It feels like it was around. It felt like it came and went. Super
It
Gremlin.
doesn't feel that way. That's what happened. He got abandoned by the producer.
Did Super Gremlin drop this year? Kodak.
Do
is super
21
important.
and Drake have the Oceans record? What was it? You know what I'm talking about on the Drake and 21 Middle of the Ocean where they take the More Money, More Murder, More Homicide sample? You think that's a contender?
It's
I
a
thought
dope
that record was pretty
That's
fucking
a dope record.
I thought that record was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Super Gremlin's everywhere.
Super Gremlin?
Kodak.
No. I'm trying to pull up when it came out because it feels like that was early if it was. November 1st, 2021.
Okay. I felt like that was around for a minute too. Yeah. Okay. Ineligible.
Yes.
But it did carry over to this year.
No, understandable.
Do you want to go to the quick thing or the versus thing? Let's go to versus.
Let's go ahead and go to verses and then we'll go to quick.
Get this knocked out. Okay.
Quick's a legend, so we're not about to forget about him in the context of talking about verses. So
T Netty with the super chat says, Push got 7 and below songs. Benny and Game mostly fire. Game had a lot of music on that album. I like the album. And again, y'all know how highly I think of the Black Slim Shady. But Game's album is very tough to rate because it's just so much music and so many features and,
I agree.
And, the thing about Game that's odd when it comes to all of that help, the best stuff be when it's just him, like Home Invasion.
I will tell you this. You want to know what? Here's what I think we should do. I think about our top 10 album list now that I'm just looking at this list. I think we need to do our due diligence and listen to 4 albums to kind of parse out how our top 10 should really go. And that's the Conway God Don't Make Mistakes, the Benny Tanner Talk 4, the Pusha T It's Almost Dry, and the Ransom No One Mourns the Wicked.
I agree with you.
I think we need to listen to those 4 albums and truly decide how those 4 albums fall because I think that's our 8 to 12 some kind of way, realistically. Unless you think the Armani is better than any of those.
It's not, I don't think. And I like the Armani. I think she did a great
job. The Armani's
job.
low-key tough, and it's got some staying power to it. You see she just dropped the video for Psych, right? Remember when I was telling you Psych was a banger?
I didn't see that.
She just dropped the video for Psych. I was listening to Psych in my car the other day. Psych's a banger.
WTF SMH. They're saying that's a verse of the year candidate.
It is. The second verse is a verse of the year candidate. Okay. I told you that. Yeah.
WTF.
Like the best 2 verses on King's Disease 3, in my opinion, are the second verse on Mike and Quincy and the second verse on WTF SMH.
Okay. We got Johnny P's Caddy, right?
Yeah, Cole on Johnny P's Caddy. Thought on Aquamarine, the first verse, in my opinion.
I'm with that.
Talib on Peppers.
Okay.
Benny on Blow for Blow.
Yeah.
Trying to think. That's my guy Hub is calling me. Hold on one second.
Get some.
Look, what up, Tim? What up? I'm doing the show right now. No, you're good. You're on the show. This is my man Hub. This 704. This West Charlotte stuff.
What up, Hub? What up?
All right, yeah. Just hit me back. I'll hit you when I'm done. Yeah, I known Hub since I was like a teenager, like 15 years old.
All right, let's face the elephant in the room. God did verse.
Hell, no, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't even want to give that.
It's not a top 10.
No. The Diet Coke verse. I mean, not the Diet Coke. The neck and wrist verse is better.
Okay.
The neck and wrist verse is better. You understand that, right? The phase I'm on, love, I wouldn't believe it either. I'd be like Jay-Z's. No, that's better than that shit. Like, come on, let's keep it real.
I mean, he was coming at me on that record, man.
I feel like Cole's verse on Stick was like up there too.
Cole's verse.
I feel like damn near everything Cole did this year was up there though.
Yeah.
He was a
Cole's
hero.
verse on
what's the other record?
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what record?
I know what
the
you're
London
talking
record?
about. The London record.
That's a verse of the year contender too. His verse on the London record, like Cole was out here annihilating niggas this year. He was out here getting busy.
What about Yasin on Stars or Yasin on Yonders?
Yasin on Yonders is a contender. I'll give it that. How many verses we got so far? Because these are just the ones that are coming to me off the top of my head.
Well, these are the ones that I jotted down. I got WTF SMH. I got Johnny P's Caddy.
Yep.
I got Aquamarine. I got Peppers. I got Blow for Blow, and I got Yonders. That's 6.
6. Okay.
Let's see what some of the people are saying. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Johnny P's Caddy, Cole's verse is possibly the most technically proficient verse of the entire year. Then Aquamarine's first verse from Black Thought.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Aquamarine's first verse is better than Cole's verse.
What about Lupe on Fox? Fox and them.
Yeah, I'm with that. Because I was actually looking for the Lupe verse. Because there's some stuff on drill music in Zion, and sometimes it's hard to parse between because he's so proficient.
Many bars, so dense.
Well, he's not just dense, but he's proficient, as in like, well, your intellect and your ability to follow needs to be at a certain level. That can be.
God did has to be top 10.
No, it's not, Mike. Stop playing. It's not. It's not a top 10
What about
verse.
Wayne's verse on there?
Huh? Wayne's verse is a top 10 contender. We are not putting that on the top 10, and it's not like this is not a Nas.
No, hold on.
We're not about to put respect on that verse like that when the neck and wrist verse is better. And Wayne, this is just like what Kendrick did on Control. It's like niggas was so busy listening to Kendrick, like do a whole 45-second name drop, that they forgot the fact that Jay Electronica actually has the best verse on there. It's the same thing going on with this guy did. It's like, well, you spend so much time listening to this guy hijack the whole end of the song that Wayne's actually the one who stunts on here.
So we're going to go neck and wrist, Jay-Z's verse on neck and wrist, and we're going to go Wayne's verse on God Did.
Now, how about this? When the neck and wrist song came out and people were saying that it was verse of the year, and I was like, no, it's not verse of the year, but it's the best verse that he's done in a long time and deserves to be in some consideration.
Right.
Yes. So this is the best verse since Ghost of Soulja Slim and before it, Drug Dealers Anonymous. So it's been a minute because Ghost of Soulja Slim was 2020. Drug Dealers Anonymous is like 2017.
Yeah. It might be a little bit longer than that. I got something.
So God Did's not that. So if you want to put the neck and wrist verse in there, because here's what you really have going on in there. A high level of true literary devices, double entendres, the song's big enough, he's big enough. The things that make him great as an MC, well, he's providing evidence on that record. That God Did verse is not evidence of 97.
It's just a very long
96. Right. It's just a very long verse. No, neck and wrist is evidence that Jay-Z deserves to be mentioned as one of the greatest, or if you feel that way, the greatest MC of all time. Like, not that God Did verse. He did not do that. That is some mid.
El Amin says, Lupe's second verse on Miss Morale, verse of the year. Now.
Oh, yes. Or on Kiosk. What was that, Kiosk? That's what I mean. Like, Lupe got some shit on there. Actually, I was thinking the first verse, well, the technical actual first verse on the last song of Drill Music in Zion, that first verse, where he was like talking about rappers die too much, and then he was like, that was the verse, but he came back and did the verse. Yeah. Like that verse.
I was thinking that too. You know what? Too. He might have a couple in there. And
yeah, I think him and Nas were the only people I heard. Him, Nas, and Cole were the people that's like, they might have multiple contenders.
Jay Short with the super chat says, if Quick was born and raised in Yonkers instead of Compton, he'd been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He also said that he was heavily involved in Get Rich or Die Trying on the low. I can believe that. I can believe that. 36 Chambers says Cole's London verse would be the third after Black Thought. So we got to jot down Cole's London verse because I'm gonna go back and listen to all these verses too.
No. I remember the Cole London verse.
Oh no, that shit was crazy. I remember that
shit
too.
Crazy. No, I'm cool with Johnny P's Caddy, London, and the stick verse being in there. He liked that.
Yeah, yeah. His feature game was crazy.
I'm cool with Lupe's mural second verse. What's the name of the last song on Drill Music in Zion? Hold on.
Let's see. Yeah. Also, man, I guess featured artist of the year is definitely Cole.
Cole.
Yeah.
End of story. Raekwon deserves consideration.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's see. Drill Music in Zion here. The last song is, on Fox and them. Yeah. That was the one that, somebody said the second verse of that and second verse of Miss Me Around.
Yep, I'm with those.
Okay.
I'm with those. Yep.
Okay.
Nas' second verse on Mike and Quincy. Nas' second verse on WTF SMH. Thought's verse on Aquamarine. First verse. Benny on Blow for Blow. Ooh.
What about Malice's verse?
Malice's verse on the last track on Push's album, on his brother's album. What do you think about Killer Mike's verse on Cheat Codes?
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, Killer Mike's verse on Cheat Codes on that song.
What is it,
Strangers? Is that what it's called, Strangers?
Strangers, yep.
Yeah, his verse on Strangers, that's up there. That is up there.
All right, Killer Mike on Cheat Codes. Esquire with the super chat says, Cole went up another tier on the all-time ranking in this last 3 years from features alone. Yes.
Correct. I'm going to tell you what. Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
You know, a lot of what he does is a business decision in terms of him picking himself as a producer. It is financially and fiscally the responsible thing to do. It is why he has amassed so much wealth in relationship to a lot of his contemporaries who are bigger hit makers. But if he would just stop that for one album and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Then go spend a couple mil like the rest of these guys, I think he would shut this whole Kendrick Cole conversation down. I mean that.
I think at this juncture,
shut this conversation. When I mean shut it down and be like, no, that's the better MC.
I think at this juncture he may do that anyway. I think
whatever
he's going to drop next.
Listen to what I'm telling you. Oh, I know he is the better MC. History is not going to read it that way. And this is exactly what I mean. None of us that watch Steph Curry play in his prime and watch Kevin Durant play in his prime think that Steph Curry is better than Kevin Durant. You cannot in clear conscience have watched both of these men play the same amount of time and think that realistically, Mike. But the way the story gets told and written.
Yeah, you're right.
And you understand what I mean about, and listen to what's going on. And this is what I mean about how the story gets told and written. A lot of people don't know what's going on right now. You know, Kevin Durant's only 4 years younger than LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Now he has missed 2/3 of one season because of a Jones fracture in his foot with Oklahoma City, where he literally missed about 60 games. There's obviously the ACL. There's obviously the rehab and the comeback from the ACL. So he's missed about 2 full seasons. You understand by the end of the season, if this man stays healthy, he's going to be about 8th or 9th on the all-time scoring list.
Wow.
By the end of the season, like he literally is climbing by game, because people don't understand when you make it to 25,000, it's real easy to get into the top 10. And then you start getting into that rare air where you start seeing Shaq, Mike, Kobe, Will, LeBron. No, he's right there.
Yeah.
Steph's never even going to sniff that, Mike. You understand that? This man done lost 2 whole seasons.
Yeah.
And if he wouldn't have lost those listen to what I'm saying. If he wouldn't have lost those 2 seasons, he would be on pace faster than LeBron to break Kareem's record. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell me that Steph is better. It's like, no, he's played every game this season. You get what I'm saying? He literally is going up by the day. If he keeps scoring at this rate when the season ends, he's going to be 8th on the all-time scoring list. The people ahead of him are literally going to be LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Those are going to be the only guys ahead of him at the end of this year.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, God Mid doesn't make the top 20 verses this year. I know that Leroy Green is really mad somewhere right now. 007
Neck
with the
and
super
wrist is
chat.
a much better version.
007 with the super chat. Shout out to 007. He says, I submit to you the first verse of Reminisce on KD3. And initially that didn't grab me. Remember on the live listen. He's straight flowing on that. The live listen was cool, man, because we all could be like, well, that other song was cool. And then we went back and played it for everybody else. Like, yeah. That was a perfect album to actually do that for. I mean, I'm looking forward to us doing some more station head live listenings like that, but that was the perfect album to do it. And they delivered.
All y'all talking to Steph stuff. Steph is a year older than Kevin Durant, got into the league a year after Kevin Durant, never going to get close to it, and has not missed the amount of games that Durant had.
What Steph stuff is there to talk about? He's not Kevin Durant.
That's what I'm saying. He's not like they played
He's
together.
He's the best shooter of all time, yes. But as an overall player,
they played together for 3 years. Let's play a game. Who was the man on that team? When that team was stagnant for a bucket, I didn't see them passing the ball to Steph every time that team needed a shot.
When they won their 2 championships together, who was the finals MVP? Both times.
He tried to hand him the MVP in the second one, and they still gave it to him because he fucked around and got a triple-double trying to give it to Steph. Right. That's how much better than Steph he is. He tried to give it to Steph, and in the process of trying to give it to Steph, got a triple-double and ended up getting it anyway. That's how great he is. He's a clear top 10 basketball player who ever lived. Like, clear.
Messed around and got a triple-double.
Around and got a triple-double.
In that draft, I remember I was in my homeboy Melvin's house, man, and I remember it was coming down to the final 3, lottery picks. And I was hoping that the Hawks would get number 2 because I knew that whoever got number 1 was going to get Greg Oden. And then Dominique pulled the thing, and we got number 3. And we got Al Horford. I like Al Horford. He had a great career and all of that. But we were literally 1 pick away from getting Kevin Durant. I was like, damn.
That is the type of thing that changes life.
And it changed everything. It changed everything for OKC.
People don't understand this, and I hate the sidebar right quick. That's my issue with Kyrie at the end of the day. It's like, do you know who you're playing with? Like, literally who you were playing with while you're sitting up here doing all this stuff. Do you know how fortunate you are? I want you to understand something. This man literally has gotten to play with the 2 best players of this generation.
Yep.
And he has acted a fucking ass both times.
I rock with
he
Kyrie.
Acts like he's LeBron and KD. Do people understand this? He's gotten to play with the 2 best players of this generation, 2 top 10 all-time players, and all he has done is shown his fucking ass every time.
You got a problem with what Kyrie's doing?
Kyrie, have you watched? He's playing. When you are playing with somebody like LeBron or Kevin Durant, do you understand that every year that you play basketball with somebody like that, you have a real legitimate chance, not imagine, a real legitimate chance to be the last team standing, and you want to take this time to take political stances? You can't wait 3 or 4 years till his prime is over? You know who you playing with? Like, not who you playing with in terms of the media or the Jewish community. Like, do you know who you were playing basketball next to every day while you were doing this? You were playing with somebody that if he stays healthy, y'all can reasonably beat anybody at any given moment if you don't fuck shit up. What part of that does he not understand as a man at 30 years old?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I think he's finding himself in many aspects. And
Find yourself in the off season. You're a professional. You have a job. You were playing with one of the best people to ever. You know Kevin Durant is Tracy McGrady just 4 inches taller.
And and I love McGrady. I thought McGrady dominated at that 1 or 2 year point where McGrady
used to bust Kobe's ass, Mike.
He did. And I remember when McGrady on Orlando was killing Wizard Michael Jordan, and I was like, man, Jordan need to just sit down, man. I hated to see it.
McGrady was fucking dealing his ass.
McGrady was crazy. Yeah, McGrady was
busting that ass.
And like you said, Durant is the evolution of somebody like him. He's like McGrady and Dirk Nowitzki mixed.
No, he's McGrady with Dirk Nowitzki's size. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's not fair. It wasn't fair for McGrady at 6'8". All I'm saying is that professionally speaking, professionally go play basketball while you have somebody like this at your disposal. He's 34 years old. You got another 2-3 years of this, fam.
Well, the
That's
thing
all I'm
with
saying.
Kyrie is the
You
fact
ain't playing
that,
with no damn LeBron or Durant again unless Giannis about to come play with you,
well, yeah.
which he
Well,
won't do.
well, what I was gonna say is, I think it's the fact that Kyrie is able to kind of act like his head's not in the game and still play at the level that he plays just shows you how talented he is. He does.
That's
I mean,
the
with all of this stuff
problem.
going on, it doesn't feel like he can even focus on the game. But when he's out there, he's busting people's ass, man. Even
But
with
what
the
I'm
whole
trying to tell
COVID
you
thing.
is that if he focused in on the teammates
Mm-hmm.
and the person that he's playing with, the way he focused on these outside things, they're gonna win the championship. He doesn't understand that. Like, you understand him focusing in on the level. How about this? If he focuses on the level that his talents say, well, they're gonna win the championship. And they can't even get out the first round. That's not an indictment on Kevin Durant. That's an indictment on Kyrie's focus, intangibles, and lack of leadership not matching his talent. Period.
Mo Better Co with the super chat
Durant
says,
did better with Westbrook. Think about that. Much better with Westbrook, who can't shoot like Kyrie, can't dribble like Kyrie, can't do the things at the rim that Kyrie can do. None of those things, and Durant went further. That's how bad Kyrie's been. That's how much of a cancer he's been. I want people to see the picture clearly.
Oh my
Russell
goodness.
Westbrook and Kevin Durant had a better run than this.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. Mo Better with the super chat says, Lupe Seattle is still my favorite off the album. I like Seattle too. I love that drill music in Zion. Dope album. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, collecting bread and a math like I'm like a calculus teacher. Eureka. Einstein on the brink of the theory of relativity and really no MC equal. The triple that J. Cole has with that. Johnny P, best line of the year. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Ghostface on the Purple Heart is better than Jay's God Did verse. Wow. Y'all hating on the God Did.
It's not like that. It's just Mike, it's just a good verse.
Sellers with the super chat says, the biology teacher said that we used to be amoebas. The neighborhood preacher said they emerged from the ether. We covered from urethra and struck gold. Eureka. Yeah, give that the block.
Aquamarine.
Aquamarine is crazy.
I think the real verse of the year contender is actually between Johnny P's Caddy and Aquamarine.
That's
I think
what it
that
seems
is
like.
The conversation. It seems like that's the combo.
Blue Collar Hustle with a super chat says Kanye just dropped a song on Alex Jones' show. What?
No, he didn't.
Mad Max with a super chat says KD ain't top 10 ever. Cut it out. KD is a wing version of Moses Malone. You bring him to your team and he could take you there, not lead you as the nucleus. Dang.
Moses is a top 20, 25 player while you playing, and
Moses
Kevin
is
Durant's
great.
better than Moses. So, like, yeah, know exactly what I'm saying.
Jay Short with the super chat says K-Dot down now, but Cole doesn't have the imagination or creativity to surpass him all time. Takes more than bar work. I do think that Kendrick is a better songmaker, songwriter. Well, no, the songwriter thing is evident even on this project. But I mean, even if we look all time, I still think Kendrick's the better songmaker and album maker.
Album maker. But when you're saying songmaker, it's like, well, go line up Cole's hits next to Kendrick hits. Actually, Cole's got.
Okay, we could do that. I mean, do we need to do a Patreon for that?
I'm actually down for that. I'm gonna ride for Fayetteville and Carolina on that one. I'll take Cole. I'll take Cole versus Kenny.
Okay.
Like on some, yeah.
I think we should do that.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Are we doing like their top 20 songs? Are we doing like singles or like what are we doing? Singles and features.
I mean,
Cole's got a lot of work. Like Cole's got stuff like Crooked Smile. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, I guess song making. I guess we would go with. I don't want to say go with the hits, but you know what I mean, like the songs where it's about song making.
Nobody's perfect. Role models. That's what I'm saying. No, Cole.
Wet Dreams, yeah.
Yeah, Wet Dreams. Yeah, all that shit. All that.
Mad Max.
What's the joint with Miguel? Power Trip.
Yeah, Power Trip.
That's what I'm saying. He makes more hit singles than Kendrick does. He makes more hit records than Kendrick do. How about that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you right now. It's like single wise, as far as the song making goes, Cole's actually better than Kendrick at actually putting the actual single for mass consumption out. So when you're saying he's a better like songwriter, it's like on the album in context of making the album, but not like as far as like kicking that shit out, not like in a Patreon like versus format. No, this is the records that I just named. What Kendrick records you got outside of All Right?
My auntie is a man now. Mad Max with the super chat says, like all you saying about KD over Steph is you can say for him over Isaiah Thomas. And KD
nobody was better than Isaiah Thomas when Isaiah Thomas played with other people. Nobody.
He said, and KD ain't Zeke from the Pistons. And we talking about top 10. Listen, I'll tell you this. I'm picking KD over Zeke. And I say that respectfully.
I'm sorry, okay, so people have to understand something about basketball. Height matters.
It does.
And so if we're talking pound for pound, Isaiah Thomas and Allen Iverson would be 1 and 2. But realistically, they fall in more like 14 and like 24 on the list. And KD's better than both of them. So
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Stephen A. Coop.
How about this? Look at it like this. If Isaiah Thomas would have played with somebody like Kevin Durant, the way Magic and Bird got a chance to play with people that were like maybe more comparable to Kevin Durant, Isaiah would have never lost to those guys. That's how great Kevin Durant is. You understand? Like he would have been whooping Bird and Magic's ass every year if he would have had somebody like Katie. Caught that smoke every year, not just at the tail end. He would have been busting their ass from the jump. They wouldn't have got shit off of him.
All right, well, sounds like we got the verses here. Do you want to go to that DJ Quick conversation?
I do. I find it to be fascinating and insightful.
Let me actually take the words right out of Quick's tweet. Let me see. He said something that's interesting because, we talk about these type of things all the time. And the fact that, certain people don't get their just due. I feel like we just had a quick conversation. I don't know if people be listening or whatever, but he says, I know it's early, but I deserve to be where Dr. Dre is. Hold on. I deserve to be where Dr. Dre is. I don't think it's fair, but I understand why. I've never had a machine behind me. That always hurts my friends more than it did me. Well, I think we spoke about this a couple weeks back, and the fact that, Dr. Dre has a staff, you know what I'm saying? And has a lot of people. And I think we were talking about him in comparison to Q-Tip. I thought that was the scope of our conversation. And we were talking about with Q-Tip, you can look at the low end theory and say, yeah, Q-Tip produced that. But when it comes to the Chronic, there's a lot of moving parts.
And Doggy Style. And the Chronic 2001 and Get Rich or Die Trying.
So if you ask me who's the better, what's the more impressive production job from an individual, I would say the low end theory. So Quick is kind of speaking along those realms in the sense where he's kind of a one-man band. He's a musician. Now, obviously, he directs other musicians as well, but he just does a lot more of the beat creation work than Dre does. I think is that fair to say?
I think he's more of so one of the artists I've been talking to, and we're going to talk about some of the things that we're doing, like as we're kind of growing, building into the year. The trivia game and such. I was with the artist Lou Screw that I'm covering behind the scenes. I've known Lou since he was younger, when he was first getting into the rap game. When I pulled up on him, he's like Coop. He was like, fam, OG. He's like, you don't understand. I'm on one-stop shop now. He was like, I can sit down in here. I mean, and you'll see the footage soon because this is part of what we're putting together. I'm watching him, and this is the artist, and he's on the boards. And he got the recording booth right there, and he done pulled the mic out. He's like, Coop, I don't have to call nobody. to do nothing or anything for me right now. He's like, I got this by myself if I need to all night in his house. Got the whole yo set up. Like, and what my fam Loose Screw's doing, that's what Quick been doing since born and raised in Compton. You feel me? Yeah. Quick been one man band, one stop shop. I told you, outside of Mossberg, and think about how long Mossberg been gone now. I ain't never even nobody even be around Quick to help out.
Yeah.
On some real shit. And so when you start looking at quality projects like Rhythmalism, Safe and Sound, you start looking at stuff like Born and Raised in Compton, you start looking at some of the ancillary stuff for outside projects and contributions to Get Rich or Die Trying.
All Eyes on Me. And
All Eyes on Me.
This is the problem.
Hold on. Tony, let's get down. Like stepping outside of the box and doing certain things. It's like, no, I mean, if you're feeling that way, fine. I mean, I'm going to tell you one of the things that I have like literally queued up on my list for December because I knew I was going to wait till December to do it, Mike. We still need to reach out to Chris the Glove and try to get an interview with him to talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because and like I said, it's no disrespect to Dre, but the reality of the matter is if you have contemporaries that are comparable to you that handle this more like a one-man show and you're more of a business and an entity and an operation employing employees, well, we can give your company the number one spot, but we can't give you the number one spot.
Similar to what we do in terms of Andre 3000 and Outkast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to give you the individualism of Andre 3000 being, top 10, but Outkast as a unit, yes. Because that's where the work lies.
Yeah,
and we're not gonna
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and we're not going to act like your contribution to Outkast supersedes Outkast or supersedes Big Boy. It's a group. You know what I mean? So I think from a production standpoint, that kind of needs to be handled in a similar context.
That's not to say that Dre hasn't done awesome stuff either. I'm just saying.
But see, the thing is, with the credit and lack thereof, it leaves the consumer just not knowing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those contributions that Quick has on All Eyes on Me, they could be huge. They could be minuscule. We don't know. We just know what we've heard.
And this is what I mean about not fair to your contemporaries, and I mean this. Well, every time we have this conversation, I think about that RZA run. And I think about how it's not that I know the beats that he did. I know the beats that he didn't do during that run. And it was very fucking few because you saw them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Scary Hours, Brooklyn Zoo, Basic Instructions Before Leaving. Like the stuff that Heaters, the MGM. Like, I can tell you the beats that RZA didn't do during the run. Like, I can tell you the exact beats that RZA did not do during their prime run. Do you understand that? Yeah. That's different than a cloud of... It's like when... It's very comparable and not the same level, but when Pusha T is on Trap or Die 2, talking about tell Hov, don't pass the crown so soon, unless he got a crown for every writer in the room. The same thing applies to the production. It's like, well, if you got...
Too many spirits.
There's too many spirits going on. And so when I look at it, when I look at a RZA and a Quick and a Dilla and a Q-Tip and a Havoc and an Alchemist.
A Pete Rock.
Pete Rock
never has help.
Well, fam, I mean, it's like, Pete Rock's not the most favorable person to a lot of hip-hop people right now, but we know that nigga know how to cook up the beat from scratch.
And see, even when we talk about...
Like the whole thing. He know how to cook the whole meal from scratch. We know this.
I've always had this debate, and I think a lot of people do too, with the Neptunes and Timbaland. And I always say, it's not fair to Timbaland. These are two guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I
still think Timbaland's better.
I'm more of a Neptune. I'm more of a Neptune fan, like in a vacuum. But that's not fair to Timbaland. It's two people versus one. And that's how we got to look at this Dr. Dre stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So look at somebody. So how about this? When you got guys like Chris the Glove that's coming in and helping do stuff like Phones Happen, Executive Decision. You got DJ Quick on All Eyes on Me. You got Yella for the NWA stuff. You got Mike Elizondo. You got Scott Storch.
You got Mailman.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, not Mailman. Yeah. Mailman.
Mailman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you got like all this going around and it's like, man, I ain't never seen nobody around Quick but Mossberg. It's like, no, he might have a right to feel some type of way. And we still don't know what Mossberg did. Mossberg might have just been carrying the records and like, hey, Quick, I bought this from the record store today. What you think of these?
Well, that was Warren G's job for Dre. Not to mention what Daz's job was.
Not
This
counting
was a whole
Daz. Think
system.
about how many guys we just circled around Dre. We got Daz, Warren G, Chris the Glove, Mike Elizondo, Melman. That's 5 guys. Yella, that's 6. You got 6 guys around any other all-time great producer, because even during the Wu-Tang run, like, a whole crew of niggas from the East Coast, 4th Disciple, True Master.
And they did their own stuff. They got credit for it, too.
They got credit every time. Like, I knew that RZA was a real one when Brooklyn Zoo got credited.
Right. Ohio okay with the super chat.
Mike, I'm going to tell you, I'm an integrity guy, and that's the type of thing that would keep me up at night. Like, hold on. Like, I think I want to, hold on. No, we're going to pray about it, do the right thing.
You remember what he said in the verses? He said he made it on my equipment.
You made it on my equipment, right. No, because that's how cold that beat was. He had to have been thinking that when that beat got made. It's like, yo, he did make that on my shit, though. I did show him how to make this beat.
Ohio okay with the super chat.
Mike, it's not even dirty that's like that. That's one of the best beats that came out the camp.
No, straight up. Ohio okay with the super chat says, although Cole's verse on Johnny P's Caddy is better, his verse on Water Boys off of Earth Gang's album is dope too. Yeah. Cole's everywhere with
I told you, Cole's done it. I mean, he's, first of all, he's clearly the special guest appearance artist of this year. If you factor in his guest appearances, and then the Dreamville mixtape, and
not even count. Yeah, Mad Max in the super chat says, "Bro, KD has one finals run as the nucleus of a team in 2012. Excuse me. Takes the Warriors away. KD is just a second round guy, maybe a conference final guy. Dr. J done more. Dr. J.
First of all, he's been to 4 NBA finals. And let's keep in mind, you know how old he was when he went to his first NBA finals? He's 23 years old.
Yeah, he was pretty young.
He's 23 years old when he led a team to the finals. So I don't ever want to hear anything ridiculous about that. You go show me the other top 10 players, go show me the top 25 players that at 23 years old led a team to the finals, because I'll show you Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem, Bill Russell, and that's about it.
And he lost to the Heat.
And LeBron. And he lost to LeBron.
Yeah.
And Wade and Bosh.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a special team.
With a young James Harden and a Russell Westbrook who really couldn't shoot or play point guard yet.
Yeah.
4 scoring titles. Like, literally conceded a scoring title to Carmelo. Like, should have 5, maybe 6, which would put him right behind Mike and Wilt. Like, yeah, y'all crazy.
Mad Max says, like, KD fans kill me because y'all talk about his height, his skill. Anyone can knock him off his square. Anyone can pick his pocket. You could take that 7-foot guy out of the series. We be seeing that.
Then why does he have 4 NBA Finals appearances, 2 rings, and two NBA Finals MVPs, and, like, hold on, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 conference Finals appearances? Like, how did that happen exactly? If he's not that
KD's got to prove Mad Max
wrong. You understand? He has still, like, this is what I'm saying. Like,
Mad Max must be a Knicks fan. I know.
Hold on, how about this? Like, you understand what Giannis is defensively is what KD is offensively, but better. Like, KD is arguably the most unstoppable offensive force ever. Giannis isn't the most unstoppable defensive force ever. That would be Akeem Olajuwon or Bill Russell. So, like, parse it out and start understanding that Giannis is not anywhere close to KD offensively, but KD is way closer to Giannis defensively than Giannis is to KD offensively. It's not that much of a conversation. And I love Giannis.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Quick can't get mad at Dre. Dre found the superstars, Snoop, 50, Shady, Cube, NWA, Anderson .Paak. Quick don't have anyone other than Sugar Free, AMG, and second to none. What say you to that?
So this is about being an A&R, not a producer then. That's artist and repertoire.
Well, I will say this. I think a big part of where Dr. Dre is not only the artist that he's able to find, but even the individual songs that he has when he jumps behind the mic. I mean, G-Thang's a special record. Dre Day's a special record. Let Me Ride's a special record.
No, they are. So is In the Club, which I believe Quick did the drums to.
Yeah.
Right. So think about this. What's Dre's biggest modern day record? In the Club.
In the Club, or
Who did the drums?
Yeah, or the Mary J.
Right.
Blige song, which is a In the Club
In the
remix,
Club's
damn
bigger.
near.
In the Club's bigger. It just is. Think about it. 50 Chunky Ass came up upside down out of a trailer for the Super Bowl about that track. Like
Darius Campbell with the super chat says, "Come on, Coop. KD has never made an all defensive team. No way he's top 10. Giannis will be better than him."
Giannis has never won a scoring title. KD got 4.
Dame with the super chat
Giannis
says,
ain't made first team All NBA as much as KD, or second team All NBA as much as KD. That's what I'm saying. Like, understand what you're saying. KD been making first or second team pretty much since about 08, 09. We're in 2022, fam. Kawhi done came and gone in this conversation.
Dame with the super chat says, "Well, y'all can consider adding predictions to y'all 2023 years in book. Example, Jay will release a new album, and if we see it really happens, we should put predictions out there." I don't know about Jay. I did say that I think Jay's gonna come out with a album next year, but I don't know if I want to put that to print.
I don't think he should.
I just don't see. You know what? We were listening to Threats the other day when I did an impromptu station head, and I thought about it. I was like, Ninth Wonder could make a Jay-Z album. I would be cool with that. I would like to see Ninth Wonder and Jay-Z get back together. Because they made one song, knocked it out the park, and we never heard them get together again. Jason, what's up?
No, my fault. I
Don't want
personally
no copyright
thought,
stuff.
right. I personally thought, like, for me, Threat was the song on the Black Album that really, like, brought it together for me. It's like, oh, no, you're still going to do stuff like that on the mic and content-wise?
He was
it's like,
spitting
no.
on there.
No, I thought Threat. How about this? Threat's better than Change Clothes, Dirt Off Your Shoulders, like all those singles. 99 Problems. I think Threat's better than all the singles that he released.
Threat's better than Moment of Clarity.
Yes,
Better
easy.
than the DJ Quick song.
Yes, Justify My Thug.
Yeah, Threat's better than my first song, I think.
Yeah, no, Threat's like a top 5 song on there, easy. Maybe top 3. Like PSA and Lucifer are the only songs that I know are better than Threat on there. That's
what about
I mean.
Allure?
I think the mic performance on Threat is more impressive than Allure. That's what I'm saying. Like, Allure has the feel, but Threat actually has Threat's 97 Hove.
Threat's better than Encore to me, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, Threat is that. That's what I'm saying. No, Threat was special. I'm cool with Ninth and Jay getting in the
I would
lab
like
and,
to see, let me go ahead and proclaim that. If anybody who is in Jay-Z's camp listens to the show, I would love to hear Jay and Ninth Wonder do a project together in 2023. Mad Max with the super chat says 3 of them were appearances were with the Warriors, who got back there the year that he tore his Achilles. And I'm a Laker fan. Kobe is my favorite player ever.
Oh, I feel you. Then you understand that Kobe and Kevin Durant were the man for the same amount of rings, which is 2. Right.
Jay Short with the $20 super chat. He says, DJ Quick suffered from the 90s East Coast bias. They had to acknowledge Dre and Snoop because of the numbers, but they refused to give props to anyone outside of them, including Tupac. But we got to pretend every 90s New York artist is a legend. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. A lot of people suffer from the East Coast bias.
Yeah.
And I think that DJ Quick needs to be somebody who's added to that mix. I think Common suffered from it. Scarface suffered from it.
Common and Scarface stick out the most, respectively, for their regions, for the time frame.
Because I truly believe if Common and Scarface were from Queens or something, they would be.
I mean, think about this.
Different.
When's that Cool G Rap record with Face? Because outside of that was early, I feel like. And outside of G Rap reaching out to Face, I mean, think about when you start hearing Common and Face with New Yorkers, late 90s. They've been around since, in Face's case, like 88, 89, Common's case, 90, 91. You don't hear them until almost a decade later. Like Favor for a Favor for Face. KRS-One and the Common freestyle at Hot 97. You know?
Yeah.
You would think,
you know what? You're right. And I didn't even think about that. And I forgot about the KRS-One connection. If Common was from New York, him and KRS would be doing so much stuff together.
Correct. It would have been happened.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect. It would have made sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go on to this Kyrie thing and we can slide.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this brief, but yeah.
Because I think we got somewhere with our list, and got somewhere to go. I think that the verses is the hardest one to do, and I think we kind of we got some good choices this year, though. I feel like previous years don't really match up with this year. This year has some really good verses.
No, I feel like the competition is a little bit more stiff because we don't have like Nas going ham last year, like on the KD2 Magic thing.
Yeah.
It's like, so, right.
You got Aquamarine out here. You got Johnny P's Caddy out here.
Right. We didn't have that last year to compete with Nas. Like, we didn't. Not like that. So we have that this year, and that's good. No, so I just want to wrap up briefly. It's like, and I just want to piggyback off what I was saying earlier. It's like, well, I don't have an axe to grind with Kyrie, but listen to everything that I was just saying in relationship to Kevin Durant, who Kevin Durant is. Even if you don't feel like, how about this? Even if you don't feel like he's a top 10 player all time, he's clearly top 15. Those guys don't grow on trees because you know how many top 15 players are playing right now? 3. And one of them is about to break the scoring record and retire soon. So literally, in about 2 or 3 years, there's only going to be 2 top 15 players playing. That's Steph and that's KD. So it is like that. But to the Kyrie thing, this is what was always my issue. When you're 30 years old and at your peak and at your prime, for whatever agenda that you have, maximize what's on the table in front of you right now while you have this platform. Do not risk your finances for the sake of just being hard-headed, because here's the thing about it. For everything that he just did, he just lost a deal and he just lost millions of dollars. What point did he prove? What awareness did he raise? What did he heighten for our community? What did he really stand to gain by doing this in the manner that he did it? Well, he didn't, and that's all I was trying to say is that I didn't like what he was doing because all I saw was a young black man, a man who was 10 years my junior, putting what he built at risk to take a stance that I'm not sure that he's clear on because he's still finding himself.
Well, maybe his point.
Let me finish, please. I would encourage any black man that's 10 years my junior that's having some of the thoughts and the feelings that he's having to stop, pause, look at the situation that you're in, and look how you can be a beacon of light and really provide awareness with your financial status and with your rhetoric if it's done properly. This wasn't done properly, and all it did was cost him millions of dollars. And I mean this very seriously. White people laughing at him right now. And I knew this was going to happen like this, and that was my thing. Stop making it seem like I'm trying to come down on this brother. I'm 10 years older than this brother. I've been in that place that he's in. That's why I was very mindful about what I was saying. All he's done is lose millions of dollars and not raise the heightness or the awareness about anything that he probably was concerned about. Do you understand that? While Amazon gets to sit up there and laugh at us and be like, nah, we ain't going to stop selling the video just because Kyrie said something. Y'all take that shit up with Kyrie. Next.
Well, maybe his stance is the fact that, he's letting people know that he can't be bought. And I think that
he's already been bought and paid for multiple times. That's what I'm saying. It is like, fam, stop that. Stop that. You've been bought and paid for multiple times. Do something with it.
Well, maybe he's bucking back on that. He's changed his mind.
No, that's cool to buck back on it. Like, would you mind bucking back in a way where it puts you on the floor with Kevin Durant so you guys can try to win a championship?
So you want him to shut up and dribble?
No, I don't want him to shut up and dribble. I want him to treat his profession like it's the number one thing that pays him, and that's what we know him for.
Well, maybe
I don't have
not.
any problem. No, I don't have any problem with him doing anything that he's done, except for one thing. All of these things have taken the precipice over what we're really watching him for, which is his genius as a basketball player. His genius as a basketball player is taking a total back seat, Mike. And what I'm trying to tell you is that, well, without his genius as a basketball player, nobody's really following him. And we've really spent the last 2-3 years talking about the mess that he's creating within his own organization more than his basketball play. He's his own worst enemy. I'm not telling him to shut up and dribble. I'm saying you're a professional. Like when we pull up here, Mike, we talk about a lot of things, but we professionally talk about hip hop. It's our sphere. It's what we spin all things off of. You and I were having a conversation about all of our spinoffs, but it ties back in now, doesn't it? Yeah. What is he doing that ties back into team chemistry, team building, team unity, winning a championship? Because his title is professional basketball player. I just want him to be tied into what actually got him to this place and then get to those things. Muhammad Ali had a lot to say while he was whooping everybody's ass in boxing, Mike. There's nothing wrong with it. Whooping everybody's ass first, Mike.
So different. Those are different times.
First. Like, no. Muhammad Ali was out here taking a stance and whooping ass.
Those are different times, and he took
Stop
a religious.
Using that time thing as an excuse. I'm so sick of us. Just like you said, it's not the 70s anymore.
No, it was a different time, Coop. He was taking a religious stance.
Look at what LeBron just did. Don't tell me it can't be done. Look at what LeBron just did.
LeBron didn't do anything near what Ali did, though.
No, but what I'm saying is that every time. No. What I'm saying is LeBron's job is a professional basketball player, and he exceeds at it as well as anybody else in the history of basketball. But if you sit down and ask this man about a social justice issue, he is prepared and he's in line and even stepped in for Kyrie. And all I'm saying is like, if you're not built. Yes, he very much stepped in for Kyrie. And all I'm saying is that Kyrie may not be ready to play that high stakes game. Like you step into the big boys table when you're talking some of the stuff you're talking. Are you sure that you're ready? It did not look like you were ready from the way that you responded. It looked like LeBron was ready from the way he responded. It's like, I'm very fascinated how you all like to ask me about Kyrie, don't like to ask me about Jerry Jones. Bang, 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 bang. But LeBron know how to play at that big boys table.
I mean, yes and no. He was able to. That was kind of some low-hanging fruit. When they asked him about Kyrie, he jumped right in line. So it wasn't like he was out there.
And he's also the only person that I see publicly to actually pivot and be like, hey, y'all was giving Kyrie this energy. Can we keep the energy consistent with Jerry Jones? Now, you show me the other black athlete that went out there and said that.
I'll give Jaylen Brown some credit. He's been, giving it to the media. And giving it to social media as well.
No. All I'm saying is that there's levels to this. And when you're playing certain type of games, Mike, if you think that there's not an etiquette and a discourse for everything, it's just like basketball, Mike. There's rules and regulations when you step on the court. You can't travel. You can't double dribble. You can't just go and hit somebody in the mouth and think you get to stay in the game.
Unless you're Ja Morant. He can travel all over the place.
That's neither here nor there. Patrick Ewing, too. But you get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make it clear. It's like I'm not trying to castigate him or tear him down. I just saw him lose millions and millions of dollars, and for what? Like, what platform are you standing? I still don't even know what his platform is.
Well, see, this
after all these years of him doing this, Mike, we still don't even know what his platform is.
Well, this is my thing, and I don't know Kyrie, but
I know what LeBron's platform is. It's financial literacy, black empowerment, business building, network building. It's very, very clear what LeBron's doing.
So,
what is Kyrie doing?
I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but just from a economic, black business building, what has kind of come of, some of LeBron's efforts, would you say?
Well, he's becoming a billionaire, and that billionaire has allowed him the agility to put blacks through school, build up impoverished communities. You get what I'm saying? Like LeBron is actually taking his wealth into actionable community works that I see Kyrie talking about, and I see the donations. But it's like, well, fam, if you're really in on this, it's like, well, then be in on it.
Well, this is the thing, though, Coop. Once again, just like the Deion Sanders conversation, that's not on one black man to do. It's not.
No,
honestly,
it's not.
A lot of those efforts right there that you're talking about, those are things that regular Americans pay their tax dollars that should be allocated to those communities anyway.
This is what I mean.
So
when
those are more so government things that, many of these people who have platforms need to push for. But this is what I mean about
not being ready, Mike. Like Kyrie has done some very philanthropic things behind the scenes. When he's been asking these questions publicly, instead of being defiant, why can't he divert the attention the same way? You understand, LeBron James is the smartest sports athlete in media maybe ever. Did you see how he diverted the conversation? Like I've been saying that Kyrie needs to do. And all I'm saying is that when they're talking this, Why aren't you talking about that? Be like, hey, you know I donated such and such to Sandra Bland, but y'all didn't say a word to me about it when I did that? Did you know that I did such and such and such and such in this community and y'all didn't say a word to me about that? Like, that's why I keep telling you there were so many different ways for even what he's actually done that's actionable for him to pivot it. And it seemed like he just wanted to stand there and be hard-headed. It's like, oh no, fam. Like, that's not how this game is played. It was never played that way by Brother Malcolm or Dr. King. It's not played that way by LeBron. Who are you?
I don't know, man. People have their own approach.
No,
everybody's not going
like,
to do it the
too much
same
of
way.
himself. He think he don't have to go through the same set of circumstances that Dr. King, Malcolm X, Ali, LeBron, and you're sadly mistaken. You better know what racist ass nation that you're living in, which is what I really keep expressing to people at the end of the day. Is like, no, I'm not saying it's right. I'm telling you we're living in a racist nation and things work in this nation a certain type of way, and it's better to get your money and build out actionable clauses like somebody like, I don't know, LeBron, and then media-wise divert the attention back to where it really needs to be. Once again, LeBron, instead of sitting up there and saying, well, I didn't watch the rest of the movie.
Well, it sounds like you're saying...
fam. Like, no. Like,
it sounds like you're saying...
and thoughtful brother, no, if you're intelligent and you're thoughtful, show us as such and back it up and divert the attention back to where it needs to go. Be like, hey, how many white basketball players do you see donating money to such and such and such and such and such? There's so many ways he could have diverted the conversation to the media. It just came off as ill-timed, ill-prepared, selfish, and stubborn because that's what it was.
Let me get to these super chats. We'll get out of here. Mad Max says Kobe was the man for 2 years. For 2, yes. But Powell was his second best, not Steph, Clay, and Dre. Stop gassing him. Kobe beat 3 Hall of Famers. KD joined 3.
He was an all-star. Andrew Bynum, all-star. So he played with 3 other all-stars on that team.
I will give Kobe this. They did beat a KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen team.
No.
With a young Rondo.
No. Get your facts together.
All 4 of those guys were on the court.
Hold on. But the 5th person, the Celtics never lost a series with all 5 of those guys on the court. No. You want to know why? Hold on. Man. I'm going to tell you exactly why.
Andrew Bynum was down when they won their series too. So,
But do you want to know why that matters? Because the Lakers had a bigger front line, and when Kendrick Perkins tore his ACL in a Game 7 where Kobe went 5 for 24, the offensive glass is where the Lakers won that game. And had Kendrick Perkins big there, the offensive glass would have not gone that way. So let's not discount that. That's what I mean about how styles make fights. If Perkins and Bynum is there, it might be a more even shot, but I'm very clear. Kobe went 5 for 24, and they killed the Celtics on the glass. Rasheed Wallace and KG were old, and it was Game 7. They were on their last legs. Perkins was the young legs on the front line, and he was hurt.
I'm going to say this. In a Game 7 situation like that, I would 5
for 24. I'm taking Kobe too, but he was 5 for 24 in that game. They did not win that game because of Kobe. And Kobe said so. Kobe said so after the game. He said, my teammates carried me in this game. Kobe said
he had a whole bunch of rebounds that game too. So I don't know if...
Hold on. What'd you just say?
He had a bunch of rebounds. But let me finish. He had a whole bunch of rebounds that game.
Like 16.
But again, he was compensating. I don't know if Perk was there, his focus may have been on other things, and he might have had a different type of game if Perkins was there. It's a whole lot of what ifs. We just know what happened.
You're talking about a playoff game rebounder that averaged about 5-6 rebounds in the game that goes and gets double that. So, okay, Mike.
I'm sure his mindset was like, okay, Perk's missing. I'm going to make sure that we get these rebounds.
Right. So that maybe...
So that focus may have took him off of his shooting game.
He shot 24 shots. He shot the most shots in the game. Like,
he's Kobe.
More than everybody else. He's Kobe. Like, I'm not taking nothing away from Kobe, but it's like, let's keep it real, Mike.
LP with Super Chat
they're not winning the game of Perkins there. They're not.
Dubs won before and after KD. You knocked Steph for doing what you're asking Kyrie to do.
This is the only
he
time
played the role that maximized KD's game. That's why KD ain't won since.
Let's just be honest. This is what I mean about how styles make fights. The first ring that they won, I believe in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Kyrie was busting Steph Curry's ass and then broke his kneecap. Okay? Kevin Love was already gone. That was the first ring. Draymond gets suspended in Game 5.
And then that series, Kyrie was busting Steph's ass.
I'm just calling spade a spade.
Yeah.
I'm just calling spade a spade.
Jay Short with the Super Chat says, for y'all Laker fans dissing Powell, what did Worthy do that he didn't? Don't act like Powell was a scrub. Yeah, Powell was scrub.
That's what I'm saying. Powell's an all-time player. Like, he's not top 75 to me, but he's top 100.
Yeah,
I got a
Powell's
slide,
good.
Mike.
All right, man, we're gonna get up out of here, man. We're gonna holler at y'all on Friday.
I
Good
wanna-
stuff.
Just real quick for the people, we're building and we're growing starting into the new year. We have a trivia game that's out and popping on Thursday nights. We have the week according to hip hop popping. I am currently starting my next venture, which is tied into According to Hip Hop. It's Coop from According to Hip Hop Live presents Coop is Problematic. You can follow Coop is Problematic on YouTube. We're gonna have some more shows coming down the pipeline as According to Hip Hop expands for the new year. I'm going to be doing a show with my daughter that I think everybody is going to love. We're going to be doing a little behind the scenes things for our local artists, and we have some big interview things. And obviously with Mickey agreeing to do what he do, we're having 2023 is going to be like our glow up year. I'm super fortunate to have been part of the building out process of this. Mike has been super supportive in me wanting to spin off and kind of build out my brand and still be attached to the According to Hip Hop brand. So thank you for letting me build out this platform with you and also use this platform to kind of spin off. We're keeping it live and keeping it family. My goal is that my family that I'm kind of bringing to the table is going to tie back into the According to Hip Hop family. We're just going to continue to grow and to expand. For the people that we've been talking to behind the scenes, it's like I'm still walking in Def Jam's building every day. It's just like I'm trying to build Murder, Inc. and Rockefeller at the same time. And we're going to have fun. You can expect us to be in your media news cycle pretty much damn near every day next year coming soon. We are taking over. So just follow Coop is Problematic on YouTube. And we're going to be using my channel as a sub-channel to funnel all things back into According to Hip Hop. Shout out to Andrew Mirror Music. Mike, we're going to do a station head soon for the year-end wrap-up. I'm going to pull up and do a station head tonight. And we're just happy to be influencing the culture and impacting the culture. And thank y'all for your love and for your support.
Definitely. It's a blessing. And I'm looking forward to listening to this episode Friday. We're going to do that Patreon Friday at 1:30 p.m.
Yeah, Friday at 1:30. Infamous Reasonable Doubt Patreon. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like we're still growing. Y'all need to subscribe to our Patreon page. Yearbook. Me and Mike are about to be in the city next year, heavy at events. Coop is Problematic idea obviously came from this show. So it ties right back in. Right. I figured it would just make sense to make my channel. My channel's not about me, but it's called Coop is Problematic because I think it's the way that people know me the most that are on this channel. But we're going to be doing a few things, and Mike's going to be funneling some of the stuff back to According to Hip Hop. Shout out to Denim, who wrote a wonderful article for the According to Hip Hop website. We're going to be giving her stuff some more highlights as the next year starts, and we're happy to be here. I feel like if we're not in first place, we about to be. So
yeah, man, we're gonna have some fun with some hip hop, man. Everybody wins.
Yep.
All right.